Welcome along to a very special edition of Betting Weekly Live. This is a Champions League Betcast, all the best bets ahead of the 2025 Champions League final as Paris Saint-Germain take on Inter. And when the game gets underway, we'll have the best in-play picks and strategies for you. You're with Dan Roebuck. Pleased to say that Steve Wyss and Jack Wright are alongside me for a massive night in Munich and hopefully a profitable one as well. And, of course, we want the Betting Weekly community to join in as well. We need your picks, plays and thoughts ahead of the game and indeed during the match as well. We are here for the next 2.5 hours or so, maybe even longer if it goes to extra time and penalties. Steve, how are you? Champions League final. You've been across the Champions League, of course, for because we win throughout the season here. Paris Saint-Germain enter the final. I think from maybe the knockout stages, we got a feel for PSG, but Inter maybe a little bit of a surprise. What have you made of the two teams' journey to the final and indeed the prices ahead of kickoff for the final tonight?
Well, good evening to you both. What an exciting time this is. Been a while since we've done this trio together as well, so a pleasure welcoming everyone. And you're right, this is the culmination of the season. Champions League, I've been on all the shows, got the Champions League jacket out tonight. And,
so
you know, Jack is always well dressed. What can I say? But it's been, do you know what? I mean, I gave out Inter a few times on the futures. Nigel at 28-1. Lewis Jones on the PSG side at 16-1, 18-1. I wish I'd got on PSG when they were 1-0 down in the leg against Liverpool. A lot of shrewdies kind of said this is the time to get on them. But I never truly believed that Liverpool would lose at Anfield in the second leg. So I wish if I had my time again, of course, I'd have got on them then. And I think then the value went. So I'm hoping Inter win, but I think PSG will lift the trophy this evening.
We'll see if there's any value in the moneyline prices ahead of kickoff in just a second. Jack, your thoughts on the two finalists generally and their route to the final? I mean, Inter, you know, they didn't beat Barcelona in 90 minutes. Let's not forget that. But I don't think many people gave them too many chances of beating a very, very good Barca side. But they did, and they, dug deep and, deserved their place in the final.
Yeah, indeed. So, good evening to you both, and hello to everyone who are already in the chat there. It's great to see you on board. Make sure you get your comments in and your predictions in ahead of us. But, I think Inter Milan, what a start to the campaign they had as far as their defensive process is concerned. I think that was the main talking point. They just never really conceded a goal, did they? So, I think that has changed a little bit, obviously, towards the back end of the competition. Probably to be expected in the fact that the quality of the opposition rises, but also this is a relatively old team as far as modern day football is concerned, and I think that they possibly got a little bit leggy. But you've got to say, absolute incredible fair play. They looked dead right at the death there against Barcelona, didn't they? And they found something to come back and then go on to win it. So I'm so excited for this game tonight. I think it's a brilliant clash between two sides that have been excellent throughout the tournament. And PSG have warmed up into it, haven't they? Inter Milan have always been there or thereabouts. But let's not forget, there was that head-to-head PSG with Manchester City earlier in the season, which was a bit like, one of these could actually miss out on qualifying here. Unbelievable scenes. But they got through that, and then they've kind of, from that moment on, kicked on. We always say, good teams always come alive down the stretch, and I think they've been exceptional down the stretch.
B. Danny says, hello guys, Rick Haley's with us, afternoon all. Talking Ponting says, a question for you friends. Many people, myself included, feel that Inter were unlucky not to beat Man City in this final. Are Paris Saint-Germain better than Manchester City team? Well, the odds would suggest not. Talking Ponting. If you look at what price City were to win that final compared to what price Paris Saint-Germain were, they were suggesting that City will be a little bit better. Nish says hello. Amir says hello, guys. Ming says hi all. Tristan says very dapper. Thanks very much. Obviously talking about, I didn't get the memo about the yellow jackets. What can I say? So no, I didn't get the memo at all. Neil says hello, guys. We've got an awful lot of comments in. We'll try and we'll get to some if we can. Look. We're going to get some pre-game bets done. We're going to talk about the money line first of all and some sort of regulation markets first up. We'll delve into some goal scorers and props as well. I mean, the thing is, Steve, is there any value in the money line prices here? This is a game that we've known for a few weeks. Is the betting pretty much done and dusted? Can we squeeze anything out of these lines? I mean, I convinced myself this afternoon that PSG were a really good price at plus 110, and then I thought actually Inter at plus 255 might be the play. So I'm not quite so sure. Is there any value here in the money line or any of the major markets? Both teams to score, yes, total goals. Or just to lift the trophy? Give us your general thoughts on those markets.
Well, in terms of the money line, I think these prices are fair. Yesterday, me and Jack talked about this, and you could have backed PSG at bigger odds to win in 90 minutes yesterday, plus 120, I think it was.
Yeah, it's plus 123, Steve. Yeah, well, obviously the fact that we both like them has clearly moved that market. So well done, listeners.
Definitely. This is now, I think this is about a fair price now. I think if PSG were to kick off minus money, which is possible, they're plus 106 now. They could kick off minus money. I think that would be too short. In terms of the goal market, I mentioned it yesterday. I still think, I really think under 2.5 goals now. Plus 104, the money is coming for the overs. Jack, you were right about that in terms of, where that money is going to come. I still don't get it. I still really like under 2.5 goals. In fact, under 2.75 goals on the Asian line can be backed at, I think it's minus 124 now. And then the first half goal line of one under one first half goal is plus 102. I still like that. Although I think now under 2.75 goals in the full 90 minutes is probably the better bet. Yesterday I thought the half time under was the better bet. This line now is where you forecasted it to be, Jack. So would you actually get involved now yourself back in the overs?
Well, it's exactly where I said I would place it. So it's still, in my swinging arc. So I would take it based on that. As I said, we talked last night at minus 103 over 2.5 goals. I thought there was a lot of juice in that. I said that at the time. It's moved. I think it's continuing to move. Looking now live with Bet Rivers, minus 129 over 2.5. So it's now gone past where I said I pitched it, where I said I'd play it. So for me now, no, it's a no bet, fortunately. And me and the people who wanted to go in with me yesterday will be on at minus 103. We're sitting pretty.
I must admit, I did all the stats for this and everything screams unders. Under 1.5 goals, if you bet in every single game for Inter and PSG this season in the Champions League, you're making an awful lot of money. Under 2.5, under 3.5 as well. I've actually put up over 1 on the newsletter for the first half on the Asian line, because we've seen these two sides start very, very quickly in Champions League games this season. The problem with that bet is that, although I still quite like it, the two teams in question have scored 5 times in the opening 15 minutes of matches in the Champions League, but none have conceded. So you can stretch that one way or the other.
I said this yesterday, Dan. To be fair, the most likely score in the first half is probably 1-0 to someone. 10 times in the last 20. There was only 3 matches in the last 20 Champions League finals that have gone over 1.5 goals in the first half. Those were 1-1 draws. So the chances are, in terms of odds, 1 goal exactly first half would be quite possible. I do think they're 0-0 at half time. Someone's asked, would I back 0-0? Don't think I'd take 0-0 for the whole game, but I think first half could be tight if we get the same sort of thing. I've seen it before, guys, where everyone's excited about final, right? Loads, and it never is. And I hopefully, from my point of view, at half time, everyone's tweeting about how bad it is, how tight it is, how boring it is. The only one that was different was the World Cup final, France-Argentina. Everyone said that's going to be tight, low scoring, and it was crazy, wasn't it? So, that I think a few people might be playing for that. Maybe it could happen. But normally these finals don't live up to expectations.
Yeah, look, last 6 finals unders, 2.5 goal line, and 7 of the last 10. Both teams to score no last 6, but the previous 8, both teams to score yes. So, and these, I always think these are pretty small sample sizes when we look at finals. We're not having hundreds of games here. We're looking at the last sort of decade, and so you tend to be cagey. Me and Steve yesterday, our conversation yesterday was the fact that I was talking about the wing backs, the fullbacks here on both sides are incredible to watch. They love to bomb on, and I just see this being as a really exciting clash where they're going to go and look to utilise their strengths. Steve was of the opinion, kind of, obviously argued it well, that it was going to be, well, look, we know what their strengths are. We're going to actually try and nullify that. So therefore, it's going to
going to sort of say cancel each other out. But obviously, your pick as far as over one Asian first half would suggest that you're thinking probably they're both going to look to assert authority early doors.
I just look, you look the way Inter start. I mean, it's a clash of styles, isn't it? You've got a possession-based side that look to try and press, and you've got Inter who look to try and counter, look to try and bait the press, and then hit opposition, with counter-attacks, and they're quite happy. For a low block. We've seen that over the course of the games. I mean, the difference is, I think, with the Barcelona game is that Paris Saint-Germain aren't so open as Barcelona. I mean, there was 2 3-3 draws there, which, can skew your thinking. And then the other overs games for Inter in the Champions League were against Bayern Munich. And again, there's that sort of caveat and question mark regarding Bayern Munich's defence. I don't think you're going to get that with Paris Saint-Germain. Just to run through one or two comments, and then we'll just reiterate the team news. I'm sure that everyone is across it. Terence is with us from New York City. Ant says, I'm all on Paris Saint-Germain, 90 minutes at the prices. Chris Graham, we're all on the Lewis Jones PSG Express. Lewis is on at big price. He's going to put his kids through college, I think, if Paris Saint-Germain
he's going to put my kids through college if he wins that, I tell you.
And his kids are only something like 6 and 4. So he's going to win quite a lot, that's for sure. Amir says he's going to bet under 2.5. Tom Leach, both teams to score. Yes, Paris Saint-Germain lift the trophy. I'm not going to be able to get through all the comments. Keep them coming in. We've got a bit of swag to give away as well here. We've got a couple of pre-game questions. I'm going to fire in one straight away. I hope I've not gone too early with this question, Steve. You were on duty for the Europa League final. Have I gone too early with the first question?
No, you're spot on. Your timing is immaculate.
Thank you. Right, okay. What we want to know, what are we giving away, Steve? That's what I don't know.
Oh, hold on. Here we go.
There we go.
Rory will put that in. It's Bet Rivers merch, basically.
Bit of merch for you.
I don't think the gold jacket's up for grabs.
Oh, is it
You
not?
can't do that. Can't do that.
This is the first question you're going to see. Which player will score the first goal of the game? The first 3 correct answers will win a piece of Bet Rivers apparel. See, that's a nicer way to put it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I like that.
So there you go.
2 PSG, 3. Yeah, look, PSG. Everyone's loving it.
Which player will score the first goal of the game? Just speaking of the lineups, I'm sure everybody is across them. This is how the two teams line. I mean, Steve, for me, there's no real, maybe one surprise here. Paris Saint-Germain, as we thought. I mean, I feel sorry for Bradley Barcola, really, because he's a fantastic player, but Kvaratskhelia on the left and Dewey on the right just seems to work for them, doesn't he? And this is the side that faced Arsenal. As for Inter, I mean, Pavard's the interesting one. Pisek doesn't play. That's the change from the Barcelona game and the semi-final. But it's great that we've got no suspensions. We've got no significant injuries here. These are full strength, first choice as far as the managers are concerned, Steve.
No, I mean, there's no real surprises. Kvaratskhelia, he would actually be he's the player I think could be the difference maker here. If I was to go for that first goal scorer, it would be here. I think to score or assist at plus 110 is still a very good bet. I mean, for those who got the Betting Weekly Insider, they'd be back Lewis Jones took the same bet plus 148. So that's been back well in. I think that's a great bet. I think to score or assist at evens or more, because he will also probably be on some significant free kicks, dangerous free kicks, and he's got a wand of a boot, hasn't he, for that? So I think it's justified. I love Barcola as well, but I think they brought in Kvaratskhelia in the winter, and it's been a fantastic signing. He's just got that extra level for me that Barcola in time could actually surpass that, in fairness, but he's still a little bit raw. So I actually agree with this selection. I think Kvaratskhelia coming in, he's going to draw quite a few fouls. Someone were mentioning, look at DiMarco for a potential card, potential fouls for DiMarco as well. He is a foul magnet, Kvaratskhelia. So I think it's the right decision to get him in.
What do you make of goal scorers, Jack? We've got the prices first and any time up there. I mean, we always think if it is going to be an unders game, you look at first. If it's going to be an overs game, you look at any time. Have you got any thoughts when it comes to goal scorers, Jack?
Yeah, obviously, look, you're sport for choice, really, aren't you? You look at that list there. Martinez looking to become the first Inter Milan player to get double digits in a Champions League campaign. Admittedly, obviously, a couple more games, so on and so forth. But Thuram was excellent last time out as well. And so you look at the attacking threats from deep. The one I'll put up as a, kind of against the field, I suppose you'd say, would be Vitinha. Should be on penalties. I believe. So plus 540 there. We've got VAR, we've got tricky attackers for PSG. We know Inter Milan like to defend. Pavard in there, a little bit of experience. So, I'd put him up. Yeah, I said there's lots there, but I think at a very nice price for a penalty taker in the final, Vitinha plus 540. I'll put him forward.
Anything when it comes to props, Steve, for you? Anytime goal scorers, shots on target when we look at the players that we've just listed here. I mean, I know that when Will White's been on the show, he's always fairly sweet on the likes of Hakimi and Dewey as well. I think he's put up over the course. I mean, we had a little chat before we came on air and we started to think sort of more PSG than Inter here. What are your thoughts on sort of players in those type of markets?
I like Dembele, it's actually gone down minus 175 now, over 1.5 shots on target. This guy just is an absolute firing range, isn't he? Shoots, it's fire at will here. And, he fires so many shots that I think just to get 2 on target is not beyond him. He has quite a few shots that are quite savable at the near post often as well. He's not a player, look, one-on-one, would I really trust him truly? No. But he does fire in some shots. You could look at his shot market as well, over 3.5 shots at minus 155. These are probably plays now best operated in a same game parlay rather than a single, by the way. But this is the player I think to watch out for PSG. He's the favourite with Bet Rivers to win the Ballon d'Or right now. Ousmane Dembele. If he can deliver a performance in this final, and if he does deliver on the big stage, fair play to him. I'll take back a lot of the criticism I've given him before. But I would rather than take him to score, I think the shots on target market or the shots market is what I'll be looking at for Dembele.
He's been fantastic, hasn't he, this season? Was it 31 goals in all competitions, something like that, playing through the centre? A lot of commenters talking about the game tonight. Simon says, interesting, how come the Inter players look on the one pop smiling, seem to be enjoying it. PSG players look way more serious. We did have a comment regarding the two teams. I think there's an age difference of about 5.5 years when it comes to the two lineups, isn't it? I've got a stat from our friends at Opta. Average age of PSG starting lineup this evening, 25 years, 96 days. It's 5 years, 146 days younger than Inter's. A lot suggesting, this is Robin, age and guile beats youth and a bad haircut every time, says PJ O'Rourke. Yeah, I used to love his books. Inter to make this an ugly game and win 1-0. Is there something in that, fellas, do you think? Do you go, I mean, I don't want to say Inter players have done that and won it because they haven't, but there's still a few that played in the final from a few years ago, more so than there is for Paris Saint-Germain who played in their final against Bayern in the COVID year. There might be only 1 or 2. Does that count for anything, do you think, when we kick off?
I made a point, yesterday we were talking about this, and I think Atletico Madrid during the campaign are the only side that have had more minutes from 30-year-olds than Inter Milan. And I saw this stat quoted, and I'm not sure, I didn't double check it, so it might be one for the viewers to try and find out. But I think the only over 30-year-old that's played in this tournament for PSG is Marquinhos. I think everyone else has been under 30. That sounds bonkers, but that was what I saw. So whether that's true or not, we'll have to have a look through it.
I don't think there's as much scar tissue for PSG. I mean, if you think about that final, in the COVID final, with that, I don't really know how that ended 1-0. It was a really open game. But from that particular final, I don't think there's as much scar tissue as you might think. So this is a completely different look. Luis Enrique, a lot of people say he's destined to win this, Luis Enrique. If you believe in destiny and stuff like that, stories, and that, I mean, that's going to be my predicted final score is 1-0 PSG. But someone's mentioned 1-0 Inter there. I mean, I suppose that could be an Inter way of winning this, old-fashioned way, getting a goal, defending for their lives. Before we kick off, let me just give you the full run of the insider picks because a couple weren't mentioned on the newsletter.
Yeah. I know we've had
another
a few
giveaway
as
well.
We've had a few people asking for James's pick. We're saying, why isn't James on the show?
Well, James's pick, right? Everyone's on this. It seems Nuno Mendes over 0.5 shots on target. I don't know what it is now, but we advised it at plus 410. Nigel's pick didn't even make it onto the actual.
Did he not?
Reason. It's plus a quarter of a goal. Plus a quarter of a goal. Plus a quarter of a goal on Inter Milan. That is Nigel's pick. My pick for the insider was halftime tie at plus 123, and I still like that halftime tie.
Plus 390, by the way. James has picked now Nuno Mendes. So
still big, isn't it?
Still big for the,
Really
as
big.
we said yesterday, the top goal scoring defender in the Champions League campaign this season.
I think. I know why Nigel's picked Inter. Did you see his feed of him with the Inter ultras in some sort of?
Indeed, he's just popped up in the chat earlier saying that they're still how heavy they were outnumbered out there. So
do you know what I mean? I think that's why he's gone for Inter. He's a little bit worried about getting on the wrong side of it. What have we got comments in? Someone's suggesting I've got yellow underpants on. Well, I might have, but I'm not going to show you. That's for sure. I didn't get the memo for the yellow jacket. I'm afraid. Brendan says, another watch along. What else have we got picks wise here? 1-0, people going in for C. Adam Thompson usually talks a bit of sense. Evening, gents. Quite like PSG half time, full time. Plus 265. Feel if it's level at half time, then I'd favour Inter. Paris Saint-Germain have a tendency to get ahead early. I mean, that's the other imponderable with Inter, isn't it? There's been a great stat going around. They've only been behind, 16 minutes? For 16 minutes in this entire Champions League campaign.
And isn't it for the most, like 300 seconds or something like that? Like every time they've gone behind, they've come back quick.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's incredible, really, to think that they've got that sort of resilience. We saw that in this semi-final against Barcelona, but you do wonder if they go behind and they stay behind, then an awful lot of the stats that we've seen for this Champions League run can be thrown out the window. Simon says, why does Paris Saint-Germain have all the public support? Everyone I spoke with this week's with PSG. Is that because they've beaten Premier League teams, do we think, Steve? Is that like fresh in bettors' minds or in the public's minds? Oh, well, they beat Liverpool, they beat Villa, they beat Arsenal. You beat Premier League teams, you go up a level. I don't know.
You're going to have to repeat that question. I'm a bit distracted here by, is it Linkin Park are on? They're doing the pre-game show. We've got all sorts of, it's really a nice little fire stuff coming out and everything. We have a Champions League tune on soon, aren't we? As well.
Well, hopefully.
But anyway, PSG. Are we talking about their results in the whole season? Beating,
Is that one of the reasons that they're short price favourites?
Yeah, they have had a really, really tough route overall, including the group stage as well. By the way, I think they've proven themselves against a lot of different teams, a lot of different types of teams, and that is why let's see what they're actually now on the money line. Close to even money to win the game in 90 minutes. Plus 106 still, the market stays stable. That's why they're that price. And I think it's fair. I really do. I think anyone back in PSG in regular time at evens or better, that's not a bad bet in my book.
Yeah, I think so.
We had PSG top of the power rankings, didn't we, from quite early on when we started doing them for the newsletter, and they stayed there. And they never ever came a point in time where we questioned that. They as I said, I think as we've got down the stretch, they've obviously won three trophies already. This for the quadruple. As they've gone down the stretch, they've probably got stronger, if anything. And I say, Steve's already touched on it. They've questioned the bottle. People have talked about that. I think they've proved it over the tournament. Like as I said, that 1-0 defeat at home to Liverpool, then going to Anfield and winning. Here we are. There's a bit of fiddling going on.
It's solid form. I mean, I always think the problem with Paris Saint-Germain is look, we've talked about this on all the various shows that we do. And you want to know how they perform when they're around about, a plus 110, plus 120 chance. The problem is, Steve, as you know, they're never that sort of price in the French top division. And even the same with Inter, the sort of price that they are now, you're looking at sort of, okay, let's see how they do when they're priced up at this sort of price. There's not a lot of numbers to sort of go back on and look at, really. So I think it is a difficult one in that sense. To predict. We've not had a draw in 90 minutes in the Champions League, have we, for a little while?
What, the final?
Maybe that's in play, yeah.
The last draw, I do believe, was Real Madrid Atletico Madrid back in 2016. That's
remember that well.
But the trophy's out now in the background. What a great looking trophy that is. The fiddler was just in their Champions League song. I'm sure will be reeling out. They butchered the new version of the CL song. I think the old version is a lot better.
I can't tell the difference between the two. We've got another pre-game question. You've got to get your guesses in for who will be the first goal scorer of the game. First three correct answers will win. So just put it in the comments. Who do you think is going to score the first goal of the game? Whack it in the comments. Everybody needs to have a go at this because we've got, some apparel.
The second pre-game. We've got another pre-game.
Well, this is it. We've got to get the second one. We've only got 5 minutes to go until kick-off here. The second question is, what will the halftime score be? So give us the halftime score. Steve's going 0-0.
I think it will be
I've gone over 1 on the Asian line for the first half, so I think I've got to go. It might be 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1.
Well, what have I got left?
What do I win?
I'll go PSG 0.
You can go
Inter
0-1.
Milan 1. I'm going 0-1. Yeah,
0-1.
PSG 0, Inter Milan 1. But PSG to turn around and come back and win.
Massive pressure on PSG, says Jamie. Miles says both teams to score no. Both teams to score no draw at plus 135. Hey says DeMarco with was that? I've lost it now. DeMarco with a foul, I think it is. Yeah, I mean that's going to be an interesting side of the pitch to take a look at.
DeMarco is minus 375 for a foul.
Yeah, Justin says Luis Rico won it 10 years ago. He did, yeah, as Barcelona coach. Hopefully he wins it again tonight. Seems like a nice guy. He has been through hell, still fighting on. Yeah, the story there with his family, of course. Jack says, Doué shot on target, under 3 goals. PSG to lift the trophy at 7s. Hughesy's been on. He says, I include Nigel's pick on the copy sent to Bet Rivers. Well, John can vouch for it.
All everyone was bothered about was James's pick, really. Let's be honest. That's the one they wanted. That's the one everyone's on, it seems.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Yeah. Get your picks in here. Someone says resilience is the key thing. Nick is with us. Good day, lads. Thanks for everything, Chair. Looking forward to the next season with a betting weekly crew. Lots of you having a crack at the competition. We need the halftime score. We need who's going to score first. The teams are coming out. Munich. I mean, it's an interesting venue as well, isn't it? Because we've had first-time winners at Munich, haven't we? The previous, is it 4 finals that we've had there? 4. We've had the likes of Dortmund win it, Chelsea win it. So Paris Saint-Germain would be first-time winners. Inter, of course, are going for their 4th. Last won it back in 2010 under Jose when they won the Inter. Let's just nail down some bets then here. We've got 3 minutes until kickoff, according to my watch here. Because if people want an interest now, Steve, what have you got for us? We were going to try and cobble together a same-game parlay. I don't know if that's been lost in the post. But Steve, give us your best bets with 2 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go until kickoff. For those wanting to get involved right now.
Under 2.5 goals, plus money, plus 102. Under 1 first half Asian goal, that's at evens now. Just a reminder, there's 2 house specials on this game. Dembele or Martinez to score the first goal.
Well remembered.
Plus 160, full time only, 90 minutes. And this is an interesting one. Each team to record one goal or more and to get 5 corners or more. That's a full time only, plus 480. So 2 house specials, do check them out. Go on,
Jack. What you got?
Well, I've got PSG to win over 2.5 goals. I like Vitinha. I've mentioned that already. Hakimi, goal or assist, plus 290. Dumfries, goal or assist, plus 310. I mentioned it yesterday on the live show.
What was the first one? What was the first one? Over 2.5.
Over 2.5.
Yeah,
over 2.5.
I'm trying to write these down. Go on. Continue.
Okay. Yeah.
Go on.
So
over 2.5.
Dumfries. Yes. PSG to win. Vitinha, goal or assist. Vitinha goal. Sorry. Hakimi, goal or assist. Dumfries, goal or assist. Yesterday's show, Doué to beat Calhanoglu in the shot on target market, plus 115. And Sommer, it's already been mentioned. I did a mini ladder here. It's a step ladder. It's Sommer over 4.5 saves at plus 100 and over 5.5 saves at plus 225.
Okay. Well, I've got a bet over 1 first half goal because I put it on the newsletter. I'm going to back Paris Saint-Germain to win in 90 minutes. Plus
all on PSG. All of us.
Yeah, we're on PSG. The other one I like is, I mean, we mentioned it before we came in here, is corners, really, and Paris Saint-Germain to have more corners, but I think you'd have to look at the handicap for that one. Can I just
talk about cards quickly? I know we're at kickoff here, but I mean, the referee is Istvan Kovacs. And I must say, there was a brilliant feature on Kovacs in the Insider. Paul Hughes did a great job on that. And he is a referee. I didn't used to ever really rate him too much. I felt that he lost control of games. He targeted a lot of teams and famously had that match in the Euros last summer where he gave 16 cards. Was it a Turkey game? It has to be Turkey, right? But this season of the Champions League, he's really calmed down. You know, I've watched him operate and he's averaging less than 3 cards a game, just 2 reds, not giving many penalties out. And I think that might be one of the reasons he's been given the final, because he has calmed down a lot. And I suspect he will let a lot go. He might lay down 1 early marker, maybe, if it's a proper challenge or something. But he's not going to want the card count to be high here, Kovacs. But let's see how it goes. Second half, for those who can bet in running cards, fouls and things like that, red card, whatever. Let's see how we will soon know if it's going to become feisty or not. But my point with Kovacs is he's calmed down to such an extent. He's not an automatic overcard bet anymore.
Just about to get underway. Will it be Paris Saint-Germain for the first time or Inter for the fourth time? Meninda asking about Dumfries sort of chirpy on the K-man side. Well, it will be Dumfries on the right-hand side, of course, for Inter up against Kvaratskhelia. That's going to be a key battle. I mean, 3-5-2. There's not too many teams that play with two up front. There's not too many teams that play three at the back that are successful. We'll see if Inter can do it. But we are generally of a Paris Saint-Germain persuasion here. Good luck to everybody with their pre-match bets. We're underway for the final.
There's only two teams really, isn't there? Let's be honest, at the high level in Europe that play with three at the back and have done well in recent years, and that's Bayer Leverkusen and Inter Milan. I mean, I can't really. There's probably a couple. Put it in chat actually if you can think of any teams that are really good. I mean, I don't think three at the back works in the Premier League very well myself. That's my own opinion. It works better in Europe.
Crystal Palace play three at the back with a bit of success, don't they? But there's not too many. It seems to be something from yesteryear. I mean, Chelsea a few years ago played three at the back, didn't they? And were semi-successful with it. And of course, Manchester United played three at the back and are absolutely awful with it. So
yeah. Well, Man United are a debate in a completely different Betcast, aren't they?
Yeah.
And a completely different debate. But
I mean, what's going to be interesting for me for this game is our Inter. Are they going to play as we think they're going to play? I mean, Thuram's racing forward here. I mean, that was the sort of... They were looking to hit Barcelona quickly, and they did. That's what they were looking to do. And I just wonder how ambitious they're going to be, Jack, because they're a team with a low block. They almost play the same in Serie A as well. I mean, they were done for the title. I mean, there was people talking about the fact that they had a hard sort of run-in because they were going for the title. I checked back at some of the lineups for the last 2 or 3 games for Inter. And they rotated quite a lot. Lautaro Martinez hardly played. I mean, it's one of those ones where you think because Paris Saint-Germain won the game early, won the league early, and Inter were battling all the way, you've got 2 different approaches in terms of how they've come into this game.
Sorry, go on. No, Jack.
No, after you go.
I was just going to answer Nigel's question about my quail. Yeah, you might hear him in the background this evening. It gets to a certain point in the night where if it goes to overtime, then overtime, I really am extra time. Sorry. Then you may well hear him even later. But yeah, Nigel's right about Crystal Palace as well. 3 at the back, they do work well.
Ooh. Jack, Inter, have they got their preparations right?
Yeah, I think so. Look, obviously, they were right up to the death, weren't they? As far as chance, they're around the edge of the box. They obviously went to the final game, didn't they, to win the league? Fell just short by a point, but as you say, they did rotate a little bit as much as they could probably going into that one. And they've had a fair amount of at the stage of the season, fair amount of rest, I suppose, going into this one, so they'll be prepped for it. And it's a massive game, so it's going to be a little bit different than just the run of the mill. If it was a Serie A game or like early in a competition, it's different. I think they're good. But it's interesting to see that. I was just saying, watching as PSG had it, how deep they sat, and Inter didn't sit massively deep. They still kept like the top 2 were
the time wasting already here. Inter, by the way, a bloke's gone down. Who was it? I'm not actually sure it was.
Calhanoglu.
Look, that there was no need for that. They're slowing the game down already. It doesn't surprise me early on.
3 minutes into the final, and they're
he's trying to kid himself.
They're trying to take the sting out of the game, or
he just kicked it out. Like, he's wasting time. He just kicked it out.
I can't believe that for a second, but you never know. I mean, no one plays for sort of extra time and penalties these days, or do that. I mean, they've got a game plan. We know that Paris Saint-Germain are going to have all of the ball. It's as simple as that. They will have much more of the possession. That's been something that we've seen already. Brendan says, "Is Jack going to Mission Impossible premiere after this? Looking sharp. Are you heading off out after the?" Yeah.
I can't say anything at this moment in time. I might self-destruct in 10 minutes though if it gets any hotter.
Look, Randall Ward makes an interesting point. Did Inter prioritise this over Serie A? I mean, maybe they did. I mean, in terms of in lineups for the Como game when they still had a chance of winning the league, there was a whole manner of alterations, wasn't there? And and Napoli were a little bit nervous in the running, but it didn't really happen. Steve, you'll know Paris Saint-Germain played pretty much full strength in the cup final, didn't they, against Reims, but bar the keeper and bar Kvaratskhelia, who was ill, I think. So they've taken a very different sort of approach to how they've rotated.
I think it's worked, because in the past what they used to do is just like rest and rotate way probably too much. But Luis Enrique is just, it's like a horse in a horse race. He's kept whipping that horse to keep it going, keeping players sharp, competitive, wanting to get in the team. And it's like no let up. French Cup final, they were 3-0 up at half time. They're not going to take it easy. That's their sort of king. Real Brandon King, he's from Toronto via vacation in Zurich. That is a great city, Zurich. Go to the Lindt chocolate factory there. That's if you got a sweet tooth.
There's also a good Lindt chocolate factory at Lakeside as well if you're in Essex. So hop over to the shop.
It's not as authentic as the one in Zurich.
Paris Saint-Germain are plus 118, tie plus 240, Inter plus 230 on the money line here. Overs is minus 103, unders is minus 121 here. I mean, I'd say, and obviously we're talking as we're watching this, this is a fairly typical opening. This is an opening that I thought we were going to have. Would you agree with that? Paris Saint-Germain looking to play the football, Inter looking to break. Is the sort of shape of the game
Inter really slow here, Dan. Like on the throw-ins, I think the referee, right? If I'm Kovacs here, I'm thinking about already issuing him a warning card here for time waste. This is ridiculous early on. But yeah, this is kind of how I expected it. PSG feeling their way around it, dominating the ball, Inter sitting back, and Inter just, when they can, taking that breather. They want to disrupt the PSG play here as much as they possibly can.
Well, Paris Saint-Germain certainly this side that are playing with a bit more ambition. But we've seen that. I mean, I thought in the semi-final against Arsenal, and commentated on both the games, I mean, Arsenal had certainly the second leg, first half an hour of that match, they were very good. And I wondered if Inter were going to do something similar. They're not really. I mean, Arsenal should have had, a couple of goals at least. Donnarumma made some fantastic saves, one in particular from Martin Odegaard. And I thought that Inter might be a little bit braver, but I guess they it works for them, doesn't it, like this? I mean, they were so good in the league phase. What was it, Jack? Only one goal conceded in the league phase. And it's only as the competition's gone on and they've played better teams that we've suddenly seen overs. Was it their first 9 games, both teams to score no cashed? And then suddenly that's been flipped on its head.
Yeah. Yeah. They kept 7 clean sheets, was it? 8 clean sheets, which is the best in the competition. And obviously they conceded 8 clean sheets, more than any other team. Only 11 goals conceded across the whole tournament. 6 obviously came in that semi-final.
Crosses from right and left.
Inter won't mind that. They're not going to mind.
Well, they back themselves. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, I don't think that Jan Sommer is particularly good on crosses, but the fact that you've got Acerbi and Bastoni in particular, but also Pavard and Dumfries for that matter, and Çalhanoğlu to come back. You've got players who, will protect the referee. And it's not really Paris Saint-Germain game, is it?
No. High press, high turnover, though. That's the first one we're seeing really from PSG there.
Yeah, a little bit more direct here. Into Sommer doesn't look comfortable with the ball at his feet to me that much. So...
I'm surprised they did that, to be fair. I thought they might go a little bit more direct into Thuram and give those PSG defenders something a little bit to think about. He can be physical. He's got good pace. He can run in behind. I think, for me, I might to tell these guys what the tactical side of things, but I'm a bit surprised they're taking those kind of risks.
Rick the Brick says, any good tips? We are, 8 minutes in? Have we changed our opinion on anything? I mean, Steve's gone unders anyway. He's happy. Jack, are we pressing up with overs?
Well, the price has moved quite quickly, hasn't it, to be fair? So, obviously, from what you've seen so far, you wouldn't be overly excited by it. But, I still think that's the game for me. I still think that's the game.
Steve, watching brief at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, at the minute, I'm quite happy with how things go. This could be a first corner game where it's cleared away. Yeah. I think by the 20-minute mark, I'll have a look at a few markets again and see what I like more.
From how this started, I'll tell you where my first pencil mark is I'm looking at PSG to be winning at half time. Because I think how they've now got into the game, dominating the ball, all in the Inter Milan final third. That would be where I'll be looking at just to see how this pans out. I wouldn't pull the trigger yet, but that's one for sort of the 20-minute mark if it's still 0-0 and still this kind of flow.
Nigel's got a bet in the chat. Under 2.5, Nigel says, get on before it slashes. Is that the first save?
No. That's first shot on target, yeah.
Douay.
There you go, Jack.
Thank you.
That's great for you.
Yeah, it's the second shot, one on target. Douay, that will have cashed for someone, I would have thought. And the save as well, the ladder, if you took Jack's advice, you've got one on the board already. I mean, the Paris Saint-Germain price, we mentioned it drifted out to plus, 120, 118, something like that. I would imagine it's probably gone back in now. It's plus 102 because, the game is being set, the rhythm's being set by Paris Saint-Germain. But you mentioned it, Inter won't mind it. And they've suddenly got about 5 or 6 players in and around the PSG box. And that's how they play. You can get full count you by pressure, especially when teams invite pressure. It's Inter's game to bait the press, to look to try and draw Paris Saint-Germain, then go over the top, look for Thuram.
I was then going to say that's how they're looking to play it on a PSG there. None of this messing around. Get Inter Milan sucked into that press and then look to bypass it with that Donnarumma ball over the top. They've got the pace to burn, obviously, up top there. Plenty of skill up top as well. So, interesting. You love watching these games unfold with the tactics, the to and fro, and so the little lot of differences. Put the pressure on, get the press on PSG high.
Take the under 1.5.
Oh, he's going in hard, isn't he?
He's going in hard. I like it. I do like it.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
That noise in the background probably could be my quail, who...
Yes, I think it is.
I have instructed someone to actually cover him up. Otherwise, because this is the time of night I'm not normally live, and he can get a little bit more noisy than usual.
Really?
So,
yeah. It's the Champions League final. Here we go. Dembele, what's he got?
Shoot on target. There you go. That is what I said earlier about his easy shots on target and never ever going to threaten. They're one of them.
2 saves for Sommer already.
What was the mark?
Don't forget most saves.
Jack? What was the mark?
It was 4.5 was plus 100. Plus 100. So the stats on it, again, for those that missed the show yesterday for Sommer, he's prevented more goals than any other goalkeeper in the tournament. His expected goals is 6 higher than what he has conceded. Most clean sheets were 7, and only Courtois with 52, Emilio Martinez with 49 had goal! Hakimi!
Flag stays down. Not celebrating against his former club in the final. Come on, give it some, boy. Paris Saint-Germain. Where's your
this looked a weird
Where's
goal.
your unders play now, boys?
This looked a really weird goal. There's like a complete breakdown here.
It's a brilliant goal, Steve. Great play.
What is the defence doing here? I think they played for the offside of the first ball. Yeah. Right, park the bus now, PSG. Park the bus, boys.
I don't think they will. This is overs all day long. Told you that. Me and Dan, we know it. You've already banked your stake back. Dan's banked his stake back. It's game on. Hakimi, we can tick that off. Goal or assist.
I mean, that's DeMarco's playing them on.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a complete blow out of the offside.
He's so deep there, DeMarco. He's in Bruges.
I mean, anyway, me or you would have scored that finish, wouldn't we?
Well,
unbelievable goal. That's one of the easiest goals you will see in a Champions League final. That is a complete and utter breakdown of the offside system that they play.
Yeah.
But, they defend deep. It's not offside as an offside system as such, is it? It's just... That's the way they play. DeMarco's got drawn back for some unknown reason. He's wandered all the way back to his own 6-yard box. And
who's the guy he's probably supposed to be marking? And that is the right wing back, just outside the 6-yard box with a tap in. That's a number 9's goal, and that Hakimi, absolutely love watching him play. And I say that cashes the goal or assist, easy as you like. Come on.
Paul says I bet on under 1.5 goals first half with Mendes 1 shot on target. Look, Inter aren't going to change. The game will look exactly as it normally does. People always say, well, surely they've got to come out and play now. It doesn't happen that way, or I'm predicting it won't happen that way. But if you're on the over 1 Asian for the first half, then you're not going to lose. Let's just put it that way.
You follow the Shrewies, you're doing well. You follow the Shrewies.
Paris Saint-Germain are minus 250 here. Tie plus 350. Inter plus 750. No one correctly guessed that Hakimi would score the first goal of the game. So we're going to do it again. So give us another goal scorer, everybody. We've got plenty of swag to give away. Look, I mean, Hakimi's been mentioned all season long, hasn't he? Will was a real fan of Hakimi last season when we did the Champions League. He's a player that loves to get forward. So question 3, which player will score the second goal of the game? Paul Nolan says, sorry, Dan, I did the bet, so it will be overs in goals. Yeah, we're on overs. Don't worry. A few of us are on overs. Grazer, Dembele, Dumfries for the second goal of the game. Dumfries? Adam. Well, Adam's quite shrewd, but,
Well, there we go.
I can only see more Paris Saint-Germain goals here.
That is the first goal in a Champions League final first half since Chelsea, Manchester City, and the earliest goal in the final since the Liverpool-Spurs game. Mo Salah scored after 3 minutes in that game, and it ended 2-0 to Liverpool.
I mean, we get excited. Unders backers get excited. It's 0-0 after 5 minutes. Overs backers get excited when there's a first goal of the game in the first half. It's just the way it is. But there are an awful lot of good websites out there that will give you game state and odds with certain teams and certain prices ahead of the action. Well worth looking at those. But Champions League finals are very, very different in terms of what they mean. We'll see what Inter do. I don't think they're going to change their tactic. I think it'll calm down again after the next few minutes. I mean, look at that ball possession there, 63%, Inter's 37%. See, what are Inter? I'm making this point, Jack. I mean, Steve. I mean, are Inter going to play any differently because of 1-0 down in the first half? I don't think so.
I don't think they'll change in the first half, which is why I'm that first half Asian goal line now is 1.75. Under 1.75 at minus 120. You're only going to lose that if 3 goals are scored fully. If 3 goals are scored in the first half, that's not happened for 20 years in a Champions League final. Under 3.5, if you were putting that in the chat as a bet now, that is at minus 152. But under 3.25 for the match goals, minus 117. The problem with that is, if just say this was 1-0 half time, right? Or Inter are losing at half time, they have to come out in the second half. So that is the concern. If football is a game of 2 halves. But yeah, at this point in time, my instincts and based on my experience, I would go definitely in on the unders again.
Random Walker, who was asking what a quail was before, has nominated the quail to score the second goal. Paul says, when I back Hakimi, he doesn't show up, and when I don't, he scores or has shots on target. Yeah, I feel your pain there, Hakimi.
Welcome to betting.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the variance of betting here. 16 minutes, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because, first 5 or 6, we're thinking, well, this is how we thought it would be. The pace of play, the tempo looks to have gone up a little bit. We're giving it a side eye watching the game here as we're on the show. So we'll see what happens. Dumfries has just gone down there claiming handball.
Nothing.
Well, that's what will happen in the second half. Dumfries and DiMarco will have to get forward more, and that is where that in terms of the match goals now, that early goal is what is he doing? Sommer. I don't. I'm not comfortable with him with the ball on his feet like that. I think
nor is he.
Clear plan that PSG they've already got the ball now.
That's his first shot.
Score that comes from the goalkeeper. That's a clear Luis Enrique plan, targeting the weakness of Sommer, and Inter need to be more direct. Simple as that.
They've got to be, Steve. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Said it like early doors. You can see how they're laying those traps for them, and they need to bypass it. They've got the targets up there. It's not as if they haven't. It's not they're playing like 2 5'6" strikers up there. Get it forward, take the risk out, get a foothold in this game. They're in trouble of possibly conceding again here.
As it is, 5 shots for Paris Saint-Germain, 0 for Inter, 3 shots on target. The players with shots on target are Hakimi, obviously, Dembele, and Doué so far. Marquinhos and Kvaratskhelia have also had shots.
Mendes down.
If you're taking a tally on that one, is it Mendes that's struggling a little bit? Did he get whacked by Dumfries?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
a head injury. So breaking play here for a bit now.
That was a bit of a nasty one. I mean, look, time to reassess. Yeah, I mean,
I was just looking at that replay again. It was a beautiful ball from Kvaratskhelia, just drilled it into the box, didn't he?
But the way that Doué makes the run, Doué's come from right to left.
Yeah, it's a great goal.
I think DiMarco's been sort of spooked there a little bit, hasn't he? He's thought, I've lost my man. Where is he? Oh, he's over the other side, and he's just drifted back.
Yeah,
and he's put himself in a position to play everybody on side here. But I think, look, I mean, from what I've seen, I can tell you the live XG stat as well. Was it 0.8, did I say here? 0.88 to 0.
Me or you would have scored it, the finish. But the build-up was unbelievable technical play from Kvaratskhelia. Doué could have shot. A lot of people would have shot in that position, and he didn't. And he absolutely chose the right decision. Random walk. How does Kit Kat get on with the Quail? They don't really interact for good reason.
0.56 apparently that the goal XG.
0.56
seemed a bit higher than that. Yeah.
I've had issues with expected goals data this season. Sometimes I mean,
it's a tap in from 7 yards.
It's the first corner.
It is.
It's a throw. It's a throw.
Long throw.
I mean, if that's 0.56, they've not considered where the goalkeeper is. All they've done is where the shot is. I had a discussion with
very subjective.
It really is. I mean, it's got to be higher than that. You would have thought. Maybe it's the fact that it's Hakimi as well. Some models work on the players, others don't. Have we got a first corner of the game?
Oh, corner backers didn't like that moment. How's that not a corner? That would look
this
like
is danger. Big break here.
God,
great chance.
Big break.
This is it.
I think this is it. Given the commenters are ahead of our feed.
Oh,
deflected effort.
Doué.
That is
Doué for Paris Saint-Germain.
That's very unlucky for the defender there. What can you do?
Well,
cash that ticket, Dan. Well played.
No worries, don't worry. I'll get
it. Not me.
I hope it goes on the P&L for the newsletter. I know that much. I'm already in profit for this.
And that's good night for Inter, isn't it? Let's be honest. Really.
Well, what do they do? What do they do now?
It's gonna be tough. Very tough.
This could be anything.
Tough.
This is a harsh goal. This is a harsh goal for there, though. For
anything.
Them.
But do we?
Look, I mean, look at this.
Does this go out?
Oh, hold on. No, it's not. It's not a corner.
Is that?
And then lethal break. Away they go.
They couldn't have changed it anyway. Even if it was a corner, the VAR can't go back there. Doué shoots. It's not. It wouldn't. He would have saved it, wouldn't he? Somewhere then it's come off.
What, DeMarco's having an absolute shock.
Yeah,
he
had one against Barcelona, didn't he? He was hooked on. Was it the first leg or the second leg? He went off early against them because he was on toast.
So this now all depends how PSG want to play it. PSG could easily just win this game 2-0 if they wanted. Seriously,
I don't think they will. Do you think they will, Steve?
I don't know what they're going to do because they could if they wanted, but
they look like they're enjoying it out there. I don't think. I think you said about him giving them the whip all season. Surely this we all say about this 2-0 lead being a dangerous lead. They've got their foot on the throat of Inter Milan here. They can put this properly to bed and make a real statement. I don't think it'd be too risky.
Jake's got an 18-1 ticket. Jake, what have you bet for 18? For 18-1. G. Davis says, I'm cashing out PSG win. Don't cash out. Go and watch the dojo with Neil and Nigel.
What is he doing there? Donnarumma, both keepers. That is a strange
on
one.
Here. Playing on.
There's the corner. There you go. There's your first corner.
By the looks of things, we're a little bit behind the rest of the chat. Should we tell them how we've got 22:06 on the screen for us or me?
Yeah, we're miles behind.
If anyone want to keep up with us, so they don't spoil it for us.
Giveaway number 3, the winners, Neil F. At Wyss, at Jake Alberis. Guess Doué to score second. Send a DM to @TroyMcClure on Twitter. Email at troy.mcClure@gmail.com. All the details there. Got shirt size. Got some apparel for you there. Have we got another? I think we've got another comp, haven't we? We were going to give another one. This was meant to be 5-10 minutes into the first half. Which team? Are we going to give this one out? Should we give the next one out, Steve?
I think so. Now would be a good time for that.
Yeah, indeed. Which team was backed by the most total futures money to win the Champions League at Bet Rivers? This is an interesting one. So the start of the season, which team start the season futures most money? We'll put it up in the comments as well. Baston Simpson, after the group phase, I bet PSG to win the Champions League. Sitting on roses now. Baston, obviously a friend of Lewis Jones because Lewis was very, very sweet on Paris Saint-Germain. We'll have to try and get. I'll give Lewis a text. He's probably not going to answer those.
He's on the phone to Eaton as we speak.
He's got the cigars and the champagne out. Don't worry about that. Who was most bet futures? Let us know. Most bet futures ahead of the action. More free swag to give away. Gracer says this might be worth Inter corner supremacy. What do you think, fellas? I mean, I suggested that PSG corner supremacy might be the way to play.
Do you know what? I've got a problem. I think Inter right now. their heads are scrambled. I can tell by looking at them. They don't know what they're doing here, and they're going to need half time to come very, very quickly, because at the minute the PSG are showing why they are the better team for sure. So, but for half time, that's when I would be looking to get on that, because
the corners bet.
Yeah, I think that's when I'd be looking to look at it. Yeah,
they're 1-0 up at the moment, aren't they? But it's they've got to get in PSG's half really to have chances of getting corners, and they're not doing that very regularly or with any intent at the moment.
Total corners is 8.5. The line I'm looking at. Even money over. Under -137. We've only had one after 24 minutes. Obviously, we're expecting some sort of cavalry charge from Inter potentially, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Jim says game over. Game over. Any expert picks on what's that? On the Club World Cup later? Is that the club? Oh, is that the LAFC game against Club America?
Ooh, yeah. There's a match.
LAFC winning. Yeah, I can't see LAFC.
I quite like PSG for the Club World Cup. Looking at their draw, before.
Yeah.
And I imagine they'll probably get back to even more tonight if they win this Champions League.
Yeah, get on now.
Yeah, they did look at that being a nice section. I know they've got Atletico Madrid in their group. I actually don't mind that. Atletico are a very dangerous team in a one-off game. You wouldn't meet them to the final anyway.
They're still messing around with it in their own area, though, isn't it?
Well, the heads are gone. The heads are in a real
look at that. Giving
place,
away again. There goes the press. 5-6 forward for PSG.
Yeah, it's Dembele again, isn't it? No, what happens with a lot of footballers? They get coached into doing something a certain way, playing out from the back, and they don't take responsibility for the game state to change it. I spoke to a lot of ex-players, and it's like someone has got to change it. Someone like Çalhanoğlu or maybe a Cherby has got to say, look, we can't keep playing this way. Forget what we've been told to play tactically. We're getting done here 2-0. We've got to go a little bit more direct, a little bit back to front, a little quicker, because every single time that someone's rolling it out, the Paris Saint-Germain press is winning the ball back far too high up, and Inter are just not getting out at all. And one of those senior players has got to change it. We're only 26 minutes into the final here. I mean, over 2.5 hasn't cashed yet, but it's on its way. I don't know what price over 2.5 is at the minute, but I suspect it'll be fairly short. Whole manner of in-play bets, incidentally, if you're getting involved in this at the moment. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain -1,000. Inter to come back and win this one. As Fabian Ruiz has a shot. Shot on target. Who had Fabian Ruiz there? 30-1 Inter.
No. I'll be honest. I looked at Fabian Ruiz to score from outside the box. He was 16-1.
Yeah.
And
so
actually
looked one Champions League goal in his career.
Yeah. It put me off. I love watching him against Spain, but for Spain. But I actually nearly put up Hakimi to score outside the box at 20-1. But obviously, that was definitely inside the box, that first one. But
goal line is over 4.5, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm not getting involved in the goal line at this point in time. No, not the one Inter are playing like this. Like, this is... if PSG want it, they could actually rack up 3 or 4 by half-time. Yeah. Because at the minute, Inter are not defending anywhere near well enough to... I mean, the power rankings we've had on the Insider all year, I think at this point in time, pretty justified, really, where PSG...
Super justified.
Yeah.
Mate, remember that we were talking yesterday about the goals, and you said the only last game to have over 2.5 goals was AC Milan versus Liverpool.
Yeah, this has got a chance. This really has
a
chance.
You would have given Liverpool a hope in that one.
This would be the first one in 20 years.
What, to go where? Over what?
Go over 2.5 goals in the first half of a Champions League final. They're normally, I mean, Inter, I think at this point in time, there's an offside there. They're going to have to obviously go for it, but I feel like their best chance.
I don't know how they go for it. I don't know how they go for it without being picked off. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain this season, it's in Ligue 1. 25 times they've scored the first goal of the game. 22 wins, 3 draws. I mean, I don't know, it's different quality, but you just think they are so good at controlling football matches. This is just set up for them now. That's that about being behind 16 minutes. Well, they've been behind more than that now, haven't they, with the first goal, whenever it was. I mean, it's a difficult one. But from a betting point of view, there's always angles in. And I know that Nigel would always look for an under situation here because, as Steve was pointing out, you think to yourself, well, do Paris Saint-Germain just control it from here on in? Is the shrewd play, you're looking at the sort of under 3.5 seems dangerous, doesn't it? Over 4.5 that you're betting short there. I mean, look, we're only half hour into the final, boys. Steve, you think you're going to
Inter have
reassess
committed
half-time?
one foul. One
Not been
foul
at it.
into that's got to change in a way. I mean, that kind of shows that how sit-backish they've been. They've got to engage more. One foul in 30 minutes.
Dan nailed it with that comment earlier, and we've heard it a few times from ex-pros now being quite public about the fact that these players are becoming too robotic. And this is a very robotic performance, isn't it? They're still making the mistakes at the back. And as you say, where's someone that's making a statement in this game, Çalhanoğlu, to go in and say, we're not letting you take the mickey out of us here, and actually stick one in on someone and get a little bit of go, because that will get the Inter Milan fans going. They can see there's a bit of fight and a bit of passion, but there's none of it at the moment.
Maybe a bit of a chance here.
Yeah.
Martinez, I'm not quite sure how many times he's touched the football.
That's a good question.
Troy's been on, says Rivers took several pre-match wagers PSG to win 2-0 at plus 900. I mean, you're sort of happy, but you're thinking there might be more to come. There's a long way to go. There was a $7,000 play on Paris Saint-Germain on the money line, plus 120 incidentally, and also a $3,000 play on Paris Saint-Germain to win the trophy at minus 154. If you bet any of those two, you're going to be pretty happy. 750 Paris Saint-Germain to win 3-1, and a $500 play at plus 550 over 4.5 goals. If you're on that, if you've got that ticket, obviously you're not near it yet, but you're getting there. Jim says Paris Saint-Germain, much better team without Neymar, Messi and Mbappe. That's been sort of well.
This is far too easy. How at the minute?
Just look at them. Here they go. Bam.
I just
away again.
Can't believe how easily Inter are getting broken down here. And it's
so that comment there from Jim, absolutely bang on. As he said it, Kvaratskhelia was probably halfway inside his own half. As that corner was N1, he was on the 6-yard box looking for that cross to come in. And that's the difference. They've got players that will go up and down, work rate and ability and skill and desire and passion to drive and do what's right for the team. Fair play to what they've built here. They look exceptional.
First corner for Paris Saint-Germain coming in. Really good point from Baston Schmid here. You think to yourself, well, how can you still get with Paris Saint-Germain? Well, you bet them to keep a clean sheet, don't you? Both teams to score no at plus 180. Is that a runner?
It looks it at the moment, doesn't it?
That's not absolutely. To be honest, at this point in time, Inter just to, like I said, if PSG wanted to really close this game down, they could. But they're the sort of side that if they really are in the mood, they'll happily bung up a score and they don't mind by conceding one at the end.
Yeah, that's right. But answer your question, Dan. 8 touches to Martinez so far.
Paul Nolan is absolutely right. They've been caught cold and they haven't shown up right now at all. The first goal was too easy. And they've been, at the minute, there looks a huge gulf in class between the two teams in what we've seen in the first 32 minutes.
You know, who was it who made the comment at the start of the game going, PSG looks serious, they could be nervous, Inter Milan relaxed, smiling. Now you flip it around and go, they weren't taking it serious enough. They were light-hearted, they were joking. Where was the focus? And PSG come in laser focused, hit the ground running, and are ripping them apart.
I mean, it's an interesting line, an Asian line, right? At 2-0 up to PSG. The 0 Asian handicap, which is effectively a tie-no bet from the 2-0 situation. PSG are minus 117, Inter are minus 107. What at this point in time, what would we say is the most likely score to finish? Probably 3-0 PSG.
Yeah. Certainly from a standing start, if we're taking it 0-0 right now, you'd say Paris Saint-Germain are more likely to win. So that's a tie-no bet from now on, minus 117.
I mean, that just looks to me at this point, especially with, I mean, before the half-time, there's only one team that looks like scoring, and that is PSG. Yeah. So things can change at half-time, I'll say that. But
the corner.
We should have had that same game parlay. We didn't really get it over the line, did we? But we're pretty much there, aren't we? Already. I mean, Simone Inzaghi, he's a good manager and he's got a good record in finals. We know that. And when he gets them in at half time, something will change. It's
definitely.
Going to be interesting to see to see what it is.
The jacket's off for him. I'm going to follow suit at half time as well, but you can tell he's boiling up there, and he's going to let him have it.
I mean, Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, they're still playing the same way as they did a goal up, 0-0, a goal up, and 2-0 up. It's not changed at all. They're not sitting back. I mean, we saw that. We saw that against Arsenal. We saw that against Liverpool. The only game that we didn't really see it in was against Aston Villa, when Villa put them under a bit of pressure and sort of got back into the tie.
They spooked them, didn't they? Villa were
That's the only time I've seen Paris Saint-Germain sort of play on the counter, and they had chances late on in that game.
Because Villa had a go at them. I actually think if you really, and not many can get them at them this way, there still is a little bit of a very small soft underbelly.
Just look at the press with it with a goal kick here. This is not generally a side 2-0 up. You've got players, you've got 3-4 players right up, and they're still continuing to play out from the back. Now he's gone long. Look, it's not quite. I
can't believe how bad Inter have been. Really poor here. Really poor.
Well, I thought it was a great shout on that zero Asian handicap from yourself there. It's minus 124 now. Would you put that forward? Are you going to pull the trigger on that?
Yeah. Yeah. I am. I believe that at this point in time, PSG. I mean, when was the last time we had a seriously one-sided final? You're talking probably one of Real Madrid's wins, right? I mean, this just feels like it could be quite a big win in time if PSG keep the hammer down.
You can't see them losing from here, can you? Like, as in,
no. Even if Inter got a goal, right? Just say Inter scored 2-1, then Inter would be pushing men forward. PSG could get a third. So that's where the zero Asian point from the 2-0 position is not a bad spot.
I like
you get the sense as well that Paris Saint-Germain are not switching off. They feel that 2 might not be enough. And that's another sort of.
I don't think they'll win the second half either.
You know, I mean, they've scored 3 or more in the last 3.
This is professional, isn't it?
You know, I mean, they conceded 2 at Villa, they conceded 3 against Nice, and 2 against Strasbourg. But that was all in and around sort of Champions League games. When they're on it, they don't tend to concede more than 1. Just looking back, they conceded 2 against Man City, match day 7 in that 4-2 home win. You know, but generally, over the second half of the season, apart from games where potentially they've never really needed to defend as much as they should do normally, I think that Asian line at minus 24. I mean, it's a draw no bet from here on in. It's been bet a little bit by the sounds of things as well. Yeah, from
there was the difference. Thuram then, that's a very important interception. As we were then talking about that, but Thuram had that in the build-up, didn't he? And he's looked to go forward, and there's one other player in attack with him, and he's surrounded by PSG players, and he's had to go back out again. Whereas the difference with
they've
PSG
got to use their physicality here, Inter. They've got physical.
This is an opportunity because Arsenal resorted to being Stoke and throwing long balls in that second leg because they believed they believed that this is an opportunity to test Paris Saint-Germain. That's Thuram again, isn't it?
Like that's the first real time. That's what they've got to do. They've got to try and use his physicality. That wouldn't have been a deserved goal. It would have been a goal out of complete blue.
But that's Inter all over, isn't it? That's Inter in
exactly.
The
They've got to find something that way.
You know, they have a threat from set pieces, but they need to get in that final third. They need to, as you say, get a bit more physical, rough up these centre backs. They're playing in their slippers at the minute. These 2 centre backs, they've not had anything to worry about.
I'd be so surprised if they didn't go a bit more direct. I mean, they've got themselves in the final third by launching it long, by getting it launched.
There's still like 6 fouls in the entire final. 6 fouls in the entire final. 1 from Inter and 5 from PSG. I can't believe that statistic.
Blinker God says PSG team total. What are you thinking, Blinker? I don't know what the team total betting is at the moment. I better just remind myself. I mean, I guess you're looking at over 3.5 PSG. Where is the team total?
Over 2.5 PSG goals is minus 215. Over 3.5 PSG goals plus 250.
They've got that one nailed down, I think, Blinker.
Yeah. Minus 205 over 2.5 now. Let it tick. I don't, keep your powder dry.
There's another goal in this for Paris Saint-Germain for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And if you can time it, I think you can time it right.
Annie says, please no more goals before half-time. Terence says, Steve said it right, Inter needs the break. Jake says, just shows it when you play a team without the superstars that they had, Tristan says, Inter needs a Kit Kat. This is very true. We might get one at half-time. Look, 7 minutes to go until half-time on my watch. PSG have been really good. They deserve it at the minute. 2-0. If you play the over one Asian, if you get the newsletter, I can only point you in the direction of the newsletter every single week. That's all I can do. Yeah. I mean, corners wise, what are we? 2-2? Are we 2-2 corners?
Yes, we are.
Corners
2-2
is low,
corners.
Yeah.
I was just looking through the stats to see if there was anything to pick out on it, really. But like the XG now is 1.03 to 0.19, 9 shots to 2, 5 on target from PSG. So yeah, it's what the eye test of the stats are all exactly the same, aren't they? Lining up. So I think we're agreed that PSG are good for another goal when they're going to get it.
Yeah, one or two more viewers joining us here. I can see the viewing count just jumping up a little bit. Look, we're going to have one or two half-time bets for you. Obviously, Steve's going to reassess it, so is Jack. We're going to take a little bit of break at half-time. There's about 6 minutes to go until half-time here. So just stick with us and let us know what you want to bet as well, what you're betting from here on in, because there are always betting angles to be had. Are Inter just, don't want to say creeping back into it, but just being a little bit more ambitious?
I think second half Inter corners might be worth looking at, right? I think corners at half time for Inter might be worth looking at. They are going to play more direct. PSG might be more inclined to knock a couple behind, for safety at times. And, naturally PSG should be a little bit more on the break. And so I will be looking at the corners market at half time. That is for sure.
We're looking at corners at half time. We'll be looking at total goals as well. 2 goals in the opening 20 minutes here, and overs backers are in. I mean, look, over 2.5. He's not over the line yet. He says.
Well, you're over the line, Dan. That was the bet, wasn't it? That was the bet. I mean,
mate, stick with me. I'll point you in the right direction. Don't worry. Don't worry.
He's not put a foot wrong throughout the whole Premier League show this season. I say it's been very impressive.
Well, it's easy. I don't have to put none of mine go on the P&L apart from the newsletter, so it's easy for me to do it. I mean, you get these brief flurries with Inter, and you think, are they coming back into this game? Yeah. And then Vitinha gets on the ball, João Neves gets on the ball, and suddenly they slow it down, and they're dancing to PSG's rhythm again. That's just seemed to be the vast majority of the time. I keep looking up, and it's nearly always in the sort of final third of Paris Saint-Germain attacking final third, Inter's defensive back. We say it's wing backs, but how much has Dumfries got forward on the right and DeMarco on the left-hand side? Not enough by any stretch of the imagination, I don't think, for me.
Kvaratskhelia now come over here. They're switch wings? Is it just in the phase of play? It looks like they're switch wingers. Dembele.
Trying to find the price for 2-0.
They have switched.
I think Nigel was asking what is the price for match ending 2-0. I can't find it.
What, correct score in play?
Or under 2.5 goals. I can't seem to find the correct score mark.
Under 2.5 goals is plus 475.
So that's the
odds. That's what 2-0 is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the corners line's just inched up to 9.5 as Sommer nearly gets done again.
Bang it out.
I mean, could we play over 9.5? That's 6 more corners.
I think Steve's the right call there. Let it tick over. Look, sometimes you like one of the key things in it. You're looking at a bet, you like a bet, you pencil it down. Sometimes the price doesn't get to where you want it to be. Don't rush in on it. And sometimes you'll miss a bet, won't you? You'll go, a couple of corners now, and you're kicking yourself. But you just got to play the long game. And
plus 475. Right. Nigel's saying that's a great price. Grazer says, tell him I'll take his money. Nigel, you take
Brandon Walk does make a good point in a way. That, there is no big incentive for them to score unless they concede. But there's a few saying, and I know Jack, you've been part of this crew over the year, that they're not the sort of team that just like to set on what they've got. They do like to play a completely proactive approach right until the end. But what I will say is, in the Coupe de France final against Stade Reims, that was 3-0 half time. It ended 3-0.
Yeah. That result though, 3-0 is so.
It could have been more goals. To be fair, what is this defending? This defending, they keep getting in behind. There's going to be another chance here.
I think you're ahead of me on your string. No, they are in behind. I'll have to try and catch.
Well, I've got away with it, but
Adam says no way it ends 2-0.
I can't. Inter have really disappointed me with the defending. They really
Inter
have.
Gaffer's going to be
All
going
over the
mental
place.
at half time. Kitchen sink job second half. But are they capable, Adam? That's the problem. People always say they're going to step up and do it different. I'm not sure they're capable. When you bet on the corners, maybe a Cherby or Dumfries to score is a bet. Yeah, a Cherby can get up, can't he? I mean, the one thing that what we've seen with Inter, and we saw it with the Barcelona game. I mean, there is never say die attitude here. You know, they are a team that will dig deep. There's experienced players there. If they get one, they could get two. I'd be more inclined to back over 1.5 into goals than one or more into goals. You see what I mean? I'd rather go that way because if they get one, you know, the old cricket adage, then another will follow sort of soon after. You know. RHM says, Steve, Jack and Nigel doesn't mention me. Says you're the best, Nigel. I love your sense.
Thank you very much.
Don't let them take it away from you.
Adam Thompson's lacking 2-2 from me. He's lacking the Desmond.
Is he? 3-1 or 2-2? Wow.
What is?
You'd hope so, Ray. They've been absolutely awful. They really have. I can't stress you. I can't believe it. It's the Champions League final.
2-2 is 11-1.
What's over 1.5 Inter goals?
Okay, 3-1s plus 600, and
not that I'd bet it, but I think one of the best bets we've had with the YouTube guys, with our commenters, is both teams to score. No, it's now plus 125.
Yeah,
says, I meant Dan, not Nigel. Nigel is sort of with us in spirit. He keeps commenting, as we say.
It's literal spirit, I think.
Yeah.
I think total goals for Inter second half is over 1.5 second half goals for Inter Milan. Bearing in mind we're about to finish this off.
What is it?
Oh, why weren't that on target, do I? Plus 350.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't bet it,
but I just think if you're an Inter fan, I'd rather go over 1.5 than over a half. Random Walk says, what price Inter plus 2 on the Asian line? Ooh. Good question.
Asian. Okay, I'll come back to you. I'm glad my Google's working.
Minus 110. And you can still get minus 113 now, Paris Saint-Germain. It's draw no bet, isn't it? From here on in.
Yeah.
No bet from here on in.
I still like that. I still like that a lot. I think the both teams to score no was a nice shout there.
Yeah,
as you
great
said
shout.
from the commenters. And Steve, I like your PSG tie no bet at this stage.
What is the subs bench looking like for Inter? I'm going to refresh myself at half time and see who they could actually bring on to make an impact here.
I was wondering that myself earlier, actually. The bench.
Listen,
have you got it there, Dan?
Listen, there's the bench.
Woo!
There's the bench for you.
Ooh,
you know,
lovely.
John does these graphics. He says, "Do you want the bench?" He says, "You better do the bench for us."
Arnautovic, he's got to come on, hasn't he? Like, they're never.
I'll tell you what. If you're relying on Arnautovic, all I'm saying is bet on Paris Saint-Germain over.
Taremi could do a job, maybe.
Taremi's been starting games, hasn't he? He's been starting, so he'd come on ahead of Arnautovic. Arnautovic missed a big chance, didn't he, against was it Lazio? I can't remember.
And that really should have been could have been easily 3 there.
Yeah, and it's a corner instead, so it's done.
I talk about that second goal being lucky, but if you don't shoot, you don't score, do you? And there's had deflections and
Frattesi came on against Barca and had a worldie, didn't he? Like, so he's on the bench, so he's got, he's probably chomped at the bit to get stuck in and get out there and show him what it's all about.
Inter just look really tired.
Memory, old legs, tired legs, hot stadium.
I mean, look at that. They've just been blown apart by a corner. Kelly has nearly scored. Like that Inter wouldn't. How? That's half time. I got lucky there, only lose. I mean, under 1.75, I lost half on that. Still waiting for that over 2.5 goal game in the first half of the Inter Champions League final. That should have gone over. I've got to be honest. That should have been 3-0 PSG.
Baston, says, I bet both teams score no at 2.7. It's now all Stevens. Yeah, great shout. Great says Arnautovic is like a statue. Agree with you there. Only Rance in 1956, Real Madrid in 1962, and Milan in 2005 have led a European Cup or Champions League final by 2 or more goals and failed to go on and win.
Basically, that's in the bag then, isn't it? Based on that stat.
So Inter have got to do something pretty spectacular.
But they will change it up. And we've got to think now about what the best bets are for the second half in lots of different markets. So put it in your chat, in the chat. What do you like now at half time? And, what is, for those who are on a PSG futures ticket, a couple were saying going to cash out now, make life very easy on yourself. But at the moment, they don't really look like messing it up, do they?
No, look, we're going to cobble together one or two bets, I think. And we're going to take, 5-minute break, boys? Just to have a look at the markets, reassess, put them through our models, and then we'll come out with some second half plays for you. What are you smirking at with models, you two?
Just like, your model.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to them to come walking in. Where are they? Discipline models as well.
Philip says both teams to score. I'm on both teams to score now. I think it's a great bet. We're going to have a look at one or two bets. Don't go away. Make yourself a cup of tea or something stronger. We're just going to be back in about 5 minutes' time.
See you soon.
Welcome back. Our viewers have dropped. That's just straight away. We have to have a break. You know, I'm a middle-aged man of a certain age. I need a break after an hour's live. Don't worry about that. What have we got from our? Who was saying? I can't find it now.
I've got 2 bets at half time right now.
Hang on a sec.
Good.
To hold that thought. RHM says, fun fact, I had an ACCA 89-1. I needed Metz to win in normal time. The last leg, needless to say, I will never watch a French game again. Oh my God, 50 grand it would have been. Ritz73 says, I turned you off during the match, come back at half time, and you've gone for a break. Stay with us. You can have 2 sound sources on. You can do it, Rit. You can multitask. Stay with us for the second half. We're going to make you some money. Chris Kramer, have I forgot my joke book? I don't have a joke book. It's just, you know, listen, it's this lot that just think to. Incidentally, I've just spoken with Nigel, and all I can say is he's enjoying himself out in Munich at the moment. Ray says, halftime team talk in the Inter dressing room. Real Brendan King, producer. Can we confirm if anyone's got the 2-0 correct halftime score, will be a great consolation prize? Yeah, we're checking. We're checking for you. Grayson, not even a sniff of a booking so far. Steve, did you say unders, bookings-wise?
I said, but do you know what? I actually like... I don't see now why PSG most cards is plus 155. They're the team ahead, right? And I don't care who you are. They've never won the Champions League before. At some stage, time wasting could be a thing. Just a tactical foul here and there. You know, they can afford to be a bit more cynical now than Inter.
But they might not have as much of the ball. That was one thing.
Well, it's more to do with, like I say, that side. So I think plus 155 on PSG most cards is worth a little sprinkle. But corners now, we've got to really talk about this corners market.
Hang on a second. Random Walk says, any plans to do stand-up, Dan? I was going to do some stand-up. I've forgotten my joke now.
He's a man of a certain age. He has to sit down. What are you on about?
Tennis jokes. It's not really my forte, love.
You've got your quiz book, though, haven't you? Oh, God.
I'm here all week. I'm here for the next hour. Let's get some bets. Let's get some bets from Steve and Jack, shall we? Steve, what you got for us?
Well, I'll say a bit of a sprinkle on PSG most cards plus 155.
Hang on, most cards 155, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're looking at most corners here. Inter, right? It's 3-2 to PSG on corners. Yeah. Inter are a massive price for the most corners here to turn the corners around. Plus 195. They are going to be more direct in the second half. Like I said before, I was keeping my eye on this market. I mean, the actual corners line is 9.5 over at minus 162. And then 10.5 is at plus 130. If sadly, Bet Rivers don't offer an Asian corner line. Otherwise, I would definitely be backing over 10 Asian corners in this game. But I do think the plus 195 on Inter for most corners now is a really big price.
It's not the worst play, that, isn't it? I can sort of... The problem is, I think PSG have played so well. I just think they're going to run away with it, but I might be wrong. Jack, what you got?
Yeah, I was looking actually at it just into corners there. I think Steve's bet is better than mine, to be honest. Over 4.5 into corners at minus.
What's the into corners line?
Over 4.5 corners at minus 122.
That's a good bet as well. That is definitely
how many have they got?
Bet.
How many have they got? Two.
So they need number 3. They've got. We know they've got to push. Minus 122.
Baston Smith, PSG over 0.5 offsides, 1.8 decimal. Not bad. Inter are going to push up.
Yeah. Oof, yeah. I'm not even considered offside, to be honest.
I haven't got that deep into the website.
Yeah, we'll have to dig deep on that one. Dave's with us. Fingerwag22, nerves will kick in. Fingerwag, you talking about PSG here? Neil F11. What are we talking? You're having a guess at the second half score? It's the giveaway question number 5. What will the second half score be? Not full time score. Only the second half counts. 1. I can't see 1-1. Real Brendan King says, hoping for an Inter comeback, or I'm turning on Steve like United fans on Ineos. Joshua Kruger says 2-0 Inter, more than hope in expectation. Talking about the second half score. Get it? Real Brendan King, I swear I said 2-0. Might go to VAR. Give it one of those. Amir cashed same game parlay. Hakimi shot on target. Dembele 3 shots. Inter keeper 3 saves. Nice one. And over 3.5 goals. Looks good here. Inter will just have to take risks. Do you know what? Over 3.5. Is that a play over 3.5, Jack? Over 3.5. Minus 134.
Goals here. Sorry, I was still looking at corners. Goals. No. Not for me.
What I will say is we've never had a 2-0 game state at half time for 20 years, and that was 3-0. So we've not got anything to go on. But usually, if there has been a goal in the first half, and there hasn't been many, obviously, late, some of them have exploded. Liverpool, Real Madrid 3-1, Juventus, Real Madrid 4-1. 3.5 is an interest. I mean,
I can explain my thinking if you want. My thinking
on.
is that I think PSG get the next goal, and I think at 3-0 they see the game out. If it goes 2-1, then I think I think that will be over 3.5 goals. But my thinking is that PSG get it 3-0 and close the game out.
If it goes 2-1, we're getting on the goals overs again straight away for me. If it especially if it was say 2-1, I don't know, by 60 minutes or something. But
so whoever asked the question, who do you think is going to score the next goal? If it's PSG, I wouldn't play it. If it's Inter, I would play it. That's my answer to that question.
That's the halftime odds, incidentally, for those interested. I know everyone's probably across them wherever you're watching, but these are the Bet Rivers prices. Paris Saint-Germain, obviously, very short to get the job done, get over the line. Inter, huge price, 45-1 to come back and win in the 90. Over and underline there, minus 134 for over 3.5. I think, the more I'm thinking about this, the first 5 minutes of this second half, first 10 minutes of the second half, I mean, if you don't see anything else from Inter, Paris Saint-Germain, this could be, was it Barcelona? Was it Milan-Barcelona, the 4-0? When was that? Going back into the sort of European Cup era here. But they just absolutely smashed them. 1989. Sorry, against Stour. 4-0. I can see... Oh, yes, they did beat Barcelona in 94. Was that Saki's Milan? Probably both of them, weren't they, really?
I have just talked myself into a bet. What I was then saying about the overs and unders, I've gone for next goal PSG at plus 114.
PSG, I like that.
Next goal,
like that. I'm gonna bet.
Yeah, regular time tab. Down you go, and it's there. Next goal, plus 114 PSG. Tie plus 525. Inter plus 125.
PSG win to 0 is still plus 135.
Oh,
that will tempt a few in.
Well, again, that's better than mine, really, isn't it? Because I think that if they win, they score the next goal, they close it out. So, yeah.
I like that next goal bet, though, as well. I mean, I think we are thinking actually 3-0. If we had to put a correct score on now, I'm thinking 3-0.
I'm thinking 3-0.
I love that. I love to nil. I love PSG to score next and to nil, both plus money. Those are my bets. Well, I've had one of those bets for the second half. I can't see how Inter can turn it around, but we've written them off before. I say we've written them off. Others have. I mean, the Barcelona game, was that just a one-off? Barcelona's high line is so different to the way that PSG defend.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You can look at that game and say, well, Inter were resilient. They came back and the players are coming out. Incidentally, we're going to start the second half shortly. But I can't, we've got to try and press up with some more overs, I think, here. And I like that to nil.
Bastian Smid, I agree there. Bet Rivers never offer the goalkeepers for whatever reason.
To get a card.
Yeah, but if you can get on that, then that would be definitely something I'd be considering. That's why I like PSG most cards plus 155. But I don't think we are going to get many cards in the second half. Got to be honest.
No.
2 or 3.
Random Walk says, how does Nigel get all these junkets? Does he not take you? We've asked, and Nigel says we're not allowed. We've asked to go.
Yeah.
Look,
someone's got to keep the machine running, isn't there? You know what I
mean? Look. He was at the Italian Open with Mr. Holden. He'll bump into Sean Calvert every now and then at places. He's, maybe he'll take one of us. Maybe next Friday you might see us all together. That'll be one for you.
Oh, yeah.
Grazer saying no subs. I mean, why would Paris Saint-Germain change it? Got no need to whatsoever. And Inter, for all their sort of rotation and squad depth and so on and so forth, you look at the bench, and as you were saying, Steve, you think who they're going to bring on here.
Arnautovic. I would definitely bring him on. He can be a pain in the arse.
Yeah, but I mean, who's the other striker? They've got. Is he not on the bench? Taremi. Taremi's been the one. Taremi's the next cab off the rank, isn't he? He's the one.
It's got to be.
That comes up straight away. Inter have gone long from kickoff. They've gone long. They have to try something different. They're going to go a bit route one. This is going to be, John Beck, Cambridge in the 80s. This is
John Beck. Who's George Riley? I thought, is he on the bench, George Riley?
Yeah,
John Beck. Is he not? Wasn't he the manager that insisted everyone had a cold shower?
Cold shower after the game. Yeah. I'm going back a bit. The problem with that is Paris Saint-Germain are going to do what they do here.
There they go.
Scalia.
You were going to catch within a minute there, Jack.
That would have been a lovely catch. Next goal. Did you
go Kvaratskhelia over shots or shots on target in the end?
Over shots. It was over shots. Just shots.
Yeah. What's he had now? Is that 3 or 4?
3, isn't it?
It was over.
He's had 4 shots.
Yeah, it was over 1.5 shots. Then Bailey was over 1.5 shots on target, and we had Paris Saint-Germain most corners. It was the same game parlay. We didn't actually say.
Dembele's plus 245 to score here. Oof. I just wonder now. I said I doubted him pre-game. This is the perfect situation for him. 2-0 up. There'll be. I mean, he was one of the most popular bets pre-game on the player props to score any time. Plus 245. Yeah. Anytime. And I imagine he will last most of the game. That was one of the most popular. That's the key thing.
COD Game has come on and he says a Doué to have one or more shot on target is 2.5, 6-4, plus 150. Problem is he might be the one to get pulled for Barkler at some stage. I guess that's Steve. What do you think? He's only going to get one. He's only going to get one more.
Yeah, that is a bit of a problem.
Is he the most likely to get the hook?
Yeah, of course he is. He's definitely a contender to be hooked. This is what they need. They need more situations like this where they got pieces.
Look, Çalhanoğlu's on every single free kick, left or
and
right.
They will win the battle in the middle here. They've
swing.
got the height. They've got the physicality.
Yeah, outswinger, far post.
Wow. Wow, that sums it up.
Doesn't matter, does it? If you put the ball in like that, jeez.
No. He will take every set piece, left and right. Dave Clark says, I just played Paris Saint-Germain minus 2.5. So you need another goal. Or you've got 4-1 on side there, which might be a little bit shrewd, Dave. Don't mind that one at all. Gray's a terrible free kick, 0 communication. Ooh, Inter fans looking a bit glum at the moment. A random walk, followed your idea down, back to Inter over 1.5. Well, it was an idea. I want to rein back on that random walk. I said if I was gonna back Inter, I'd rather go over 1.5 than a half.
Yeah, and you also said you love both teams to score no.
Yes, I did, but I'm just saying if people wanted to get with Inter, everybody you get the newsletter. You get my official plays. They are thin on the ground. I don't put official plays up on the Premier League show or the European show. Nigel doesn't allow me to do it.
We're going to clean up. At some point in this second half, there'll be a dead easy bet we can all get on. Clean up. I'm telling you. I don't know what it's going to be yet. But
did we put what corners bet did we pull the trigger on?
Inter, most corners. There you go. There's one already.
We're now getting one. And over whatever it was, wasn't it?
This is what I like. Corners incoming.
Over 5.5.
Interesting one from Fingerwag. Surely Dembele will want to score to bolster his Ballon d'Or case. Don't want to go all Rio further.
Exactly what I'm thinking, Fingerwag. He is the favourite for the Ballon d'Or. You can bet on that with Bet Rivers, actually. Get the latest odds for you now.
Handball.
Claiming handball here.
No, handball the other way.
It's gone the other way. Yeah.
He looks stern, doesn't he, Kovac?
Yeah. Paul says, guys, as I said earlier, I played team to win in extra time or Penos. 33 as well, 10-1 for the draw. Maybe. Don't know about that one. Here we go. Is this handball? No.
Martinez got a touch though. That'll be happy.
Yeah, that's 9 for the game. He's not been in it. He's having. I mean, look, he's been a terrific player for Inter. I mean, he had a shocking World Cup, you might recall, didn't he? Got dropped. After starting the World Cup finals, he had a shock. Everyone else played so well for Argentina. He had
was that the tournament where we had about 4 goals disallowed in the first game
that's
for
right,
offside, wasn't it?
Yeah, to be fair, that's true. I mean, every time PSG come forward now, they look like they're going to score here.
Oh, come on! Oh, Slash! His 5th shot.
How has he not scored yet?
Will White, was that Will White's bet?
That was Lewis's to score a
Lewis's
plus
bet.
148. He didn't assist, did he, earlier? No, it was Doué. Who assisted Thingy's goal? Doué's goal.
Dembele, wasn't it?
Dembele, yeah. I mean, Dembele score and assist, there'll be a lot on that, I would have thought.
Yeah, that's...
All right, James says, I'm about to say that Dan has a great sense of humour. This is true. Paul says, only tiny bets for a bit of enjoyment. This is how it should be. Is the jacket off, Jack? I didn't notice the jacket's come off. Yeah. Took over half time. From looking Mission Impossible to more like Yellowstone.
Did anyone ladder Kvaratskhelia shots? That would have paid well.
I would have done. But no.
What is he on now?
5.
Interesting stat. Only Bayern Munich in 2012, 16 have recorded more shots in the first half of a Champions League final than PSG got 13. 5 shots on target, joint most along with Liverpool in 2022 and Borussia Dortmund in 2013
Nice.
The minute it's
PSG
Sommer
giving it away again.
PSG are looking more likely for the next goal still. Nothing's really changed yet, has it?
No.
Well, whatever the plan was, what have we had here? 6 minutes, 7 minutes nearly.
I couldn't find the Ballon d'Or odds, by the way.
The only way Inter Milan are going to score here, he says, putting his neck on the line, is from a set piece. And that needs to be a better set piece than that Çalhanoğlu last one that he banged in.
They look like they're setting up to do short again on the goal kick here, which is remarkable. Maybe it's a ruse.
Yeah, so it's got to be rope-a-dope, surely. They've done it. Oh, wow.
What?
It's like watching MK Dons.
This is just... I can't believe that. It's quite clear that... I mean, I've got to be honest. If Inter want to... Sommer is a good shot stopper, but they've got to change the keeper for next season if they want to play this way. But I've never really noticed that I think PSG's plan has been excellent. They've clearly targeted him, and they've not just... It's not as simple as just saying, you can trigger press a goalkeeper. You've got to do it in the right ways, and they've done it perfectly.
What was our play? Over 4.5 into corners. What price?
It was over 5.5, wasn't it?
Over 5.5.
Do you know what? I didn't jot it down. It was minus 120.
Okay.
2, I think.
I thought it was over 4.5.
No, because they had 2, didn't they? They needed 3.
They needed another 3. That's over 4.5, isn't it?
Looks like there's some subs incoming here.
Yeah, Pavard
or Inter. Double change, I think this may well be. Now, who are they bringing off and on?
Pavard's off. Bissek coming on.
Bissek. And who's...
DiMarco's coming off. Well, you can't argue with that, can you? He's been completely...
Is it Zalewski?
Yeah.
He's had injury issues, hasn't he?
Zalewski's not a bad player, actually, if he's in good health.
That's been the problem, hasn't it? He's had
that's not a bad... I think that's not the worst double change for them. They had to try to do something. DiMarco's been rinsed, hasn't he? I really rate DiMarco. I just wonder... I mean, he's had injury problems in the second half of the season. Did that have an impact here? Because against PSG, you've got to be 100% peak. You can't be even 90% in that position.
He was caught out against Barcelona, wasn't he?
It's a corner, isn't it? It's a corner.
No. It's foul.
It's a foul.
Oh, no.
It's a corner.
Is he given a foul?
Donnarumma was flapping.
No, here's a corner. Yeah, another corner. We'll take that.
There you go. They're already leading on the corners. Stop the count.
Marquinhos has flattened his own player.
Yeah.
Into corner.
Right. So they're now in front on corners for your bet, and I need one more for the over.
It's it. Oh.
Yeah.
Don't know why I'm saying it.
Because you want the deflection for the corner.
Yeah. I mean, Barella's been a no-show, and arguably he's their midfield quality.
Who has been a show for Inter Milan, though, Dan? That's the question. There's been not one that you could say has had a decent game, is there?
No, not at the minute. It's been shut. I mean, Zalewski's a tempo player, isn't he? He had such a good spell at Napoli, but injury issues. Here we go again.
Oh dear, that's a terrible header.
They can't play through it, can they? Enough.
Oh,
there we go.
There's a chance.
Oh, brave. Go on then, prove me wrong, Barella.
Oh dear.
A chance here.
That's going to be, I think, that's probably a booking.
Oh yeah, that's a yellow all day long. Yeah,
that's not good for me. I suppose that's
opening
the danger.
Grazer says game is opening up a little bit. Terence says go corners. Inter real. Brendan says for giveaway 5 on the second half score. I'm going 0-0. Game stays at 2-0. Well, look, you know. Did James? What was James's selection? Was it Nuno Mendes?
Mendes over 0.5 shots on target. He's not had a shot yet.
No, it's not a shot yet. Sorry, random. I reckon. I mean, Nigel's played under 2.5, and he played it very, very early, didn't he? He might be on to something. We're only 10 minutes in. So, in my mind, looking at this game, it's very, very similar to the start of the second half that it is start of the first. And every single time PSG come forward, there's usually a shot on the end of it. You know, Inter can't get back in time to sort of prevent it.
Yeah.
I'm still hopeful for a few more goals. I mean, I still think. I mean, the price of the next goal PSG must have gone up a little bit, but to nil has probably contracted. I mean, we're sort of on the same wavelength with that, but one's gone one way, one's gone the other. I would have thought. What price is both teams to score now? Because Bastien, who put it up for us, is probably sitting on a minus money play.
Plus 108. Both teams to score. No, still plus money. If anyone wants to still get involved. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, then are they controlling the game as much in this second half, would you say? I mean, I'm just trying to look at some sort of possession stats for the second half only here. Would you say that Paris Saint-Germain have had the same amount of possession in the first and the second? Let's have a look.
68% to Inter Milan second half possession.
But a lot of that's been in their own half, I would have thought.
Yeah. Still 0.07 expected goals.
See that incident there where that, for me, that should have been a yellow card. Right, Kovacs is not going to give anything for a card now unless it's serious foul play.
He's going to give it to the coach.
Yeah, that's an easy cop out. That's the easy cop out, isn't it?
Doesn't count for betting?
No. If a player is given a yellow on the bench and then comes on, I do believe it will count.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Dear me. Look at that. So just to look at those stats that we were talking about there, and just to show you how little Inter Milan have created, they've had 4 attempts at goal so far, none on target, but 3 of them have come from corners, only 1 from open play. And I'm trying to think what that was. That might have been a recycle one. That was Zalewski.
I mean, you know that.
I think it was.
If the data guys, the analysts, and they sit high up in the stand to watch the games. What they do is and I'm sure people know this. But what Inter and Paris Saint-Germain and every top-flight team have, they'll have a load of data analysts. And at the end of the first 45 minutes, they will clip up all of the instances that the coach wants them to do. So they'll be in contact with a coach, and then there'll be 3 or 4 minutes, or maybe a little bit less, a sort of quiet time when they go in at half-time. And then the analyst will present all these clips that the manager will talk through, and he'll say, this is what we've done wrong, this is what we've done right, this is what I want from you all. And Jack's just pointed out there that if they're creating chances from corners, you know, you've got to think that they've got to get it forward a little quicker to create the chances or create the opportunities that they are creating chances from. But maybe the fact that Paris Saint-Germain are just controlling the game, but not as much according to those possession stats, they're just unable to do it. Still really don't see any sort of significant change. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain, maybe, Steve, they've just stepped off a little bit because, you know, Paris Saint-Germain, first time winning the Champions League.
This is now serious stuff.
At some stage, Marquinhos, who's been there a long time, he's going to just think, do we all need to fly forward?
The game's getting a bit bitty, you know. If you're gonna, this might be the time to get on over cards. I don't know what the card line is, but it's just getting a little bit bitty. Players are not too happy about. Let me just look at this card line.
Over 3.5 cards. Over 3.5 cards minus 125.
I think that's
one
a bet
so far.
can get on it. But I mean, I think it's going to be close. It's not going to go overboard.
Yeah.
But I think if you are, this would be now the time to get on them. because the match is just starting to get a bit bitty. If it goes 3-0, then it could just be a bit of a damp squib, couldn't it? The last 20 minutes.
RHM live bet, no more goals to be scored. 4.5 to 1 banker, free money. He says,
Couple on there.
Terence says, no, not sure. RHM, it's called buying money. Amir, Barca deserved to be here if it were not for that fluke late goal. It was a good finish, the late goal, wasn't it? I don't think it was a fluke.
I have to say, that would have been an unbelievable final, actually.
Barcelona were the better team, I think.
That would have been an incredible final.
The best teams don't always win. The best bets don't always win. It's as simple as that. You can have well-crafted selections. PSG do this a lot in the game. Press like lunatics 30 minutes and then sit back a bit more. Nearly cost them at Villa. Yeah, that was the we talked about that, Jake, in the first half. I mean, Villa was the game I thought that, Villa had such a good go. They had some big chances, didn't they? But I think Villa are just a more dynamic team than Inter. I just think they are. It's as simple as that. It's, Inter, we talked about the age of the squad's 30 years old.
Hakimi is serious quality, isn't he? He really is.
Yeah.
The difference between these two sides going forward is night and day, isn't it? Like
that's it. That is it. You could put a Cherby.
Is that a corner? I think that's a corner.
Yes, a corner.
I think, yeah, it is.
They will get corners on the break because it's they'll shoot and they'll get deflected. So, yeah, that's brought it back level for the corners.
Could do with another couple on target, to be fair.
Yeah. This is where Paris Saint-Germain. Inter are going to back themselves all day long to keep them out. I just feel though. Obviously we're just watching for afar here, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of tension on the game. It's got to change for that. If Inter scored now, you never know. But half an hour.
Looks like more substitutions are coming to happen here. Surely we got to get Taremi on. Surely we got to get.
But Taremi comes on. You go long, don't you? Taremi's a top.
Yeah, Mkhitaryan's off here.
Mkhitaryan.
So who are they making?
I didn't even know Mkhitaryan was on. Did he touch the football?
Bissek's going off as well, and your man Darmian coming on.
Hold on, Bissek.
Bissek's only just come on.
That's an injury for Bissek.
Yeah, he got nailed, didn't he, earlier on?
Will that be a concussion, sir? Because he got his head, didn't it? Did he get his head?
No, it's a leg injury.
No. Oh, that's a real shame.
Yeah,
I
he's in tears.
Yeah.
So they got
He's
one
been their
more
best player as well.
How many times does Mkhitaryan touch the ball? That's
I'll come back to you.
For stats, stats man. I can't even find the touches on the app I'm using here. All I can find is successful dribbles, and there's none of them. How many times did he touch the ball?
Mkhitaryan has touched the ball a grand total of 14 times.
Yeah, not good for a midfielder, is it? That
none in the opposition box.
You can forgive a striker sometimes. People make an awful lot about the fact that Haaland never touches the ball. Doesn't matter if he scores, and most strikers don't have that many touches of the football.
Oh, there they go.
Hello.
They're through.
Vitinha.
Go on, lay him.
Go on, Due. Go on then.
Oh, he's. Yes, it's in.
Do we hit the side netting?
Oh, the shirt's off. That's a yellow card for you, Steve.
Get the shirt off.
Tell you what, I'm going next. If I had my six-pack on like he's got, I'm going as well. Everything's coming
off. All right, that's
PSG next goal. Cash that
you've
one.
Cashed your over, Jack. Well done. You've cashed
the overs for Jack.
Goal.
Cash next goal as well.
Zero Asian handicaps.
Shot on target versus Kalahoglu. I think we
can
cover that one. I think that's done.
And the yellow card as well, which will that's 1-all on the cards.
That was a great goal for us, wasn't it?
I do wonder now what's going to happen in terms of it's going to go either settles down 3-0, game over, or PSG could actually turn the screw even more.
Yeah. Well, we thought 4, didn't we? We were looking at those Milan finals.
That is a finish. That's a finish, you know. He ain't saving that. That's a really good finish.
What a ball from Dembele, though. Look at that. Lovely little...
2 assists.
Beautiful.
Oh, no, it's Vitinha, isn't it?
Yeah. Nice. And that shows you the quality that he's got. I thought he'd hit the side netting initially.
I thought he hit the side netting from the angle I was looking at.
Yeah. Up in the stands up here.
Netting. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
That's a nice finish, isn't it? That's a nice finish.
Steve won't remember this, but one of the first shows that I did for Bet, well, not one of the first shows, one of the shows that did Bet was in our first season when we had the French League show, and I jumped in for the guy who used to do it, can't remember his name. And shout out to Rob. Rob's probably working tonight. He covers the Champions League. And I commentated on Desiree Doui's first ever game for Rennes as he came on as a substitute, and I did the show with Stephen James a week after, and I did say, watch this kid, different class, because his brother was there at the same time. His brother's a defender. Steve shaking his head. So what I'm saying is, I discovered him. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but, that's nice. A bit like Lacroix.
I mean, yeah. Shout out to Rob. Rob had a great night, didn't he? Europa League final there with the Spurs.
And there's that tackle from Kvaratskhelia there just shows you the difference in a nutshell with this PSG side.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we're referring back to that night, Steve. Let's just move on. Hello, Dumfries. No,
that's a goal kick.
This PSG fans get
top performance from PSG here. Top performance. We've cashed a few tickets already.
Well, yeah, this is a really good performance, like you say, Jack. This is more than professional. It's been an absolute one-way
no
traffic.
offers PSG at the minute. What? How long?
Is Douay off?
Well,
the Poznan's out.
We thought Douay might come off.
Yeah, La Poznan.
I was looking at the stats earlier on. I mean, Douay he's player of the match material, is he? What do we think?
Got to be, isn't he? Got to be.
I thought so.
2 goals.
How is he not going to get man of the match here? Unless Dembele gets one, maybe, I don't know.
Well, he's only got 1 assist to his name so far, hasn't he, Dembele? So,
I mean, I was looking at Barcola's stats. He's got 21 goals in all competitions this season. Can't get in the starting lineup. How does that?
But it was the right. You got to say it was the right decision, wasn't it? Kvaratskhelia had a massive impact in that first half.
Yeah.
Dembele, Barcola now. This is the thing. I think there's hungry players wanting to get on the score sheet with PSG.
He's got 17 assists and 21 goals in all competitions.
Nice.
More assists than any other player. Doesn't start big games.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, sport for choice, aren't they? And to have that on the bench as well. Excellent stuff. I mean, but that price, I'm just going to get me a trumpet, saxophone, and full brass back in band out here. That Douay to beat Çalhanoğlu bet was like bonkers. I said it at the time, didn't I, Steve? And I said we needed to get it on yesterday. Yeah, put it on yesterday, and like I said at the time, we were concerned that it might go, the price might go, but it was an absolutely brilliant price in my opinion.
He's not even had a shot. Çalhanoğlu's not even had a shot.
Not even.
Gracer, any more unders betters now? Don't think there is. Random. Get on the cards now. Inter might leave a few boots in. Terence says the stadium is rocking it. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain fans really enjoying this. They know they're over the line.
It's going to be a lot easier for Nigel to get to the bar after this game than it was before the game, I think. It's surrounded by Inter fans.
What do we think last quarter of the game? Is there any angles in for bettors here who want to get involved anymore? I mean, what do
under 3.5 goals plus 150.
I want to see more from Inter. Are offering nothing still. They're just lying down and having their tummies tickled. They're offering nothing.
They're done. They're cooked. And the question is, are PSG going to feel sorry for them and just soak up the Olays and enjoy the rest of the game, the final 25 minutes?
Do you think Paris Saint-Germain will take the foot off, a la the French Cup final? Does it come to something where Luis Enrique is he's 55 now and he's been around a long time and he's won an awful lot of trophies as a player, as a manager. Does he get that message across?
There's another yellow card. I did say, Dana,
you don't take the mick out of the opposition here. Is that another yellow?
He's starting to dish now. This Kovac, he could actually dish a few more now. Before the end of this game, he just looks like he's in card-happy mood to me.
Ooh, yeah.
Stud showing on that one.
Yeah.
Do you think PSG take the foot off? What do you think?
I don't think they will because I think they're hungry. Maybe like the last 5 minutes or so they would, but these guys are really hungry to. They're the Barcola want to come and get.
Could be in again. Barcola this time.
Oh. Cheeky. Still got it. Chance. Oh!
What is Barcola to score here? Because I think he'll really want to get on the score.
He'll want it. He will want it. Are we having one final play?
What is it?
Until the next final play. What price is he?
Barcola is plus 750 to score. That's got to be worth some pizza money, because this lad won't want to be in the shade.
What price is he?
Plus 750 to score by
Plus
Bradley Barcola.
750. I mean, I know there's
That's a
only
lovely
21
price.
minutes left, but he's just going to be the outlet every single time they go forward.
That's what got to be worth a go. That has.
Hold
on, shot on target. Let's see if we can get on that.
Yeah, no, I was looking there. I'm on that menu. He's not on there. But I'll tell you what did catch my eye is that they've still got them, because it had disappeared for a while. It's back now. And Dembele for another shot on target is plus 120. Our man, Kvaratskhelia, we talked about him a lot tonight. He's had loads of shots, but none on target. He's plus 160 to have a shot on target. Will he get his radar right before the end of the night? I'd be inclined to have a little poke on that.
PSG are plus 225 to win this match more than 3-0.
They haven't took the foot off the gas, have they?
This could be 4 or 5 at this rate. They will slow down in the last maybe 5 minutes, but until then. And Gratz has said another yellow. Yeah, this ref is absolutely dishing.
Inter were throwing their toys at the pram. Big start.
I said 10 minutes ago that was the time I got on the overcards, and that's already gone over 3.5 now. I've got the wrong team at halftime. I nibbled a little bit of PSG most, but it's Inter that have lost their heads basically in that way.
Baston says still no offside for PSG. Maybe that base cooked. Don't rule that out. You never know, because PSG are the team that are sort of playing on the break a little bit, aren't they? Here, COD Gaming red at 9, taking it. What do we think? Red card.
Well, I certainly wouldn't be laying it because I think Inter could be. Their mindset's been terrible all night, and someone could do something stupid here.
Yeah, to get a card, yeah.
Let's let that one roll.
Could be another yellow. Could be.
No, let it go. Nice. Let it go.
I quite like Barcola anytime. 19 minutes to get something, plus 750. I mean, if there was a shot on target, you'd want to take that, because he can be a bit weak in front of goal. I've just said he scored 21 goals. He can be a bit weak in front of goal. Have we got...
I'll tell you what you will get from it, Dan, is you'll get him till the final whistle, won't you? Now it's quite nice band the subs when they come on. I'll obviously, having just seen one go off after being on the pitch for about 3 minutes.
We're all on biscuits.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, you're going to get it.
That's a very important tackle.
I just wonder if Bet Rivers have just reframed the...
Here they go. Kvaratskhelia. Is this his shot on target? It's got to be.
Go on then.
Oh, it's a goal!
I did 4-0. That plus 225 to win more than 3 look big.
It had to come. Bosh.
Over 3.5.
I'm not sure the scoring's done yet. They are absolutely rampant here.
I mean, they're having a party.
This is the most one-sided final I have seen in Champions League since, I can't even remember one this one-sided in my days.
Well, we've had a couple of 4-0s that we mentioned before, both involving Milan. Just looking back over the previous finals, we have never had a 5-0 scoreline. We've had a 5-3 and a 7-3, but never a 5-0. But no one's suggesting that that's not going to happen.
And that's another great finish. The keeper's
Is he on?
got no chance, really.
Yeah.
It's inside the post. They've been absolutely...
Baston's hoping that the flag went up there.
The chances they're getting, beautiful. That's inch.
Well, if they want it, honestly, if they want it, it was 5 or 6. If they want it. Will they want it?
They look like they do, don't they?
We've asked this question every time when they were 2-0 up. We said, do they want 3 or 4? When they were 3-0 up, do they want 4 or 5? And it's the same question. And there's been no relenting. Wow.
King Savvy Saver, how are you guys spending the summer off? We don't have the summer off, King Savvy. Don't worry. We'll be betting weekly live every midweek day. We've got the World Club Championship. We're already pulling the trigger on Paris Saint-Germain to win that one.
What price are they now?
I think get on them to win the Club World Cup right now.
Off to the pub with Nigel. We've got our end of season drinks on Friday. Nigel will be posting on Instagram for that one. Terence says this is a clinic. Could be 7. Throw the damn towel in now, says Corey. Grace of reminding us 4-0. This is easy. G. Davis, Dembele, Barcola will look to score as well. Well, we've had a little bit of pizza money, as Nigel would say, on Barcola here. Matthew Reynolds, I missed it. What were the suggested bets for this game? Well, we had quite a flurry, Matthew. We have had a number of winners. We've had 1 or 2 losers as well. We've got to be honest. But generally, myself and Jack were overs. Steve's put up a nice in play on Asian line. What's the situation with the Inter corners? Does that one catch?
Oof, no, I don't think so.
Steve's put up a yellow card.
Yeah, it's really close actually with the corners, and the corners are quite hard to predict at this point in time.
What were the players we said at the start of the game that you boys liked?
Oh,
which one?
Hang on.
Shots. Oh,
good save. Good save.
The Winter nil was under threat there, wasn't it?
It was.
Winter nil, both teams to score no. A lot of the guys.
You might get that now. That I don't know. Will
they get one back?
Yeah, like consolation territory.
Yeah, I mean, Dembele and Kvaratskhelia shot on target and shots were mentioned at the start of the show. Terence says too late to pray.
I don't get why PSG are 8-1. They're too big. There's about 3-4 teams shorter than them in the betting for the Club World Cup, and I don't get why. Grazie.
Yeah, Neil says, would have loved to see this lot against Barcelona. Well, yeah, definitely. Barcelona aren't in the World Cup. Work that one out. Real Madrid are, of course. They'd probably be shorter. City probably are shorter as well, just off the top of my head. Yeah, going to be an interesting tournament, that. And it's I think from a betting heat, because there's going to be a lot of unknowns, I think there's going to be a chance to make...
Is that the corner?
Corner. For
that's the 5.
Back ahead. That's here you go, Jack. You've cashed.
Yeah.
That young man's obviously gone unders for the corner. He should have
he's devastated about that corner.
Absolutely
this was nearly in PSG1/2. Get that back in the quadrant. Here we go.
Oh, Bet Rivers took a single wager on PSG to win exactly 4-0 at 60-1.
Wow.
You got 14 minutes to hang on to that one.
Oh, I wonder how much was on that.
Yeah, that's a nice bet.
It's another corner. It looks like... Is it a corner?
Is that another corner?
Yeah. So they've got... I mean, that's now 6-4. 6-4 to it. Imagine if you laddered the corners at half-time for Inter. Maybe someone did out there, because we were... there was quite a suggestion towards that. I do like... I've become a bit of a corners better, in this year. Even won a hot dog with the corner, last pick of the season on the hot dog.
You did. Yeah. I must admit, I find... You see, even this. My bet for the same game parlay that we never told anyone was PSG more corners. I would have bopped the bet.
The problem with corners pre-game though,
but the game state changes it, doesn't it?
That's why pre-game you're better off going over or under for me, straight over or under, just the main line,
rather than one versus I get it.
Or team total corners actually might be because goals do change games obviously
massively,
significantly. Even in, David versus Goliath sort of contests.
Who had most corners in that one? Who had more shots on target? I think there was only one shot on target in David.
I think. Yeah, David was the only one with the slingshot, wasn't he?
Well, looks like Nuno Mendes is going to be taken off here.
You see,
and that's why James is not on the show.
That's why he's not on the show. One of the worst.
Well, James was.
We've got.
The scoreline just didn't help James, did it? With them being 2 up so early, that he didn't need to get forward as much.
No, didn't really do it,
Cobb Gaming took over 12 at 4 half time when Steve tipped it. Over 12 total corners. What are we now? Total
10.
10. I mean, we were looking at one stage. It was even money over 8.5.
It was.
Well, I don't think the corners have done at either end here. By the way, I think there's definitely more at both ends.
At half time, when I said about the Inter corners, this was the highest line that we could get. So
yeah. I'm hoping for a Barcola goal. That would be my last sort of my last nibble at this one. I mean, Inter.
Sign off.
I mean, there's 12 minutes left. Well, one thing that UEFA do is they have a little bit of a mercy whistle. They don't give us 7-8 minutes of added on time.
Brilliant.
UEFA don't like to give a lot of time added on in general.
So
watch the FIFA World Cup next year. The Club World Cup will have tons of time added on. They'll get a sponsor for added time in that. That's what they do in MLS, isn't it? Extra time is sponsored by companies.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's going to be an interesting call because do you remember when the goal lines came out for the Qatar World Cup and suddenly they were adding everything? I mean, the total goals for the tournament went through.
You're talking 100 minutes.
You could nick a 100-point profit as soon as they announced that. If you had privy to that information, I don't know what they're going to do in the FIFA World Cup. I tend to think you're right, but I don't know what's baked into it. I mean, we put up unders for the Premier League at 12-10 for the season right at the start of the campaign, and that was a massive winner for us. And that's because everything was set at these massive high lines. Kvaratskhelia again? No. Barkley
That tracking back by him there, where he could have given up.
Yeah,
like, it was shoulder to shoulder, kept going. 80 minutes on the clock, 4-0 up.
I think he's the man of the match, for me.
Kvaratskhelia?
It's tough on Doué, but it's between the two.
I know Doué's had a brilliant game as well.
Doué's got to get it.
But I think Kvaratskhelia has been technically unbelievable here.
He's outstanding, isn't he? And work rate as well.
Yeah.
I mean, people talk about, Paris Saint-Germain and how they changed over the course of the season. Dembele through the centre and Kvaratskhelia coming in on the left-hand side and Barkley losing his place. But Kvaratskhelia cost, 50-60 million in January. A lot of teams could have had Kvaratskhelia. Every single Premier League team I would have thought would have looked at him, or, top half of the Premier League would have looked at him. Yeah. Didn't take him. But obviously Luis Enrique knew exactly what he wanted to do and how he wanted to play.
It was an awesome pickup. I saw today, on a similar theme, different player totally, of course, Ezer, his buyout clause is 63 million. I'd be all over that if I was one of the top players and top teams.
I mean, Arsenal are looking for a left. The only thing is he a left-sided attacker? He's just more a... Hello?
Here you go. Oh, no! Oh!
How is he not?
How is that not cash?
What I was just going to say, PSG are going to get at least one more massive chance before the end of this game.
Yes.
How was that not? That would have been a massive hit for us. I still think he's not going to
have another chance.
Well, I think there's at least one more big chance for PSG. This is awful from Inter. This genuinely could have been 5 or 6.
That was very good right up until the final bit.
Yeah.
Most important bit.
Oh, that's why maybe he didn't start the game.
They're still all over Inter like a rash, aren't they? They're not letting them have a moment out there.
Look, that's, everyone wonders, myself included, you think, why does Barkley not get in the side ahead of Doué? Well, Doué scored twice. Yeah. Barkley's had one massive chance and should have buried it. I mean, it's sort of a chance of his own making, but, he should have buried that. Should have been fine. Are we seeing
well, but
what is the goal? What's the goal line? What's the goal line? Do we think we get another goal? Plus 128 over 4.5.
What's the clock?
Well, the problem is, Dan, we're not going to get much time added on, like you said.
No.
We're not.
Are we?
You're looking at probably 10 minutes. Yeah, same. 10 minutes max. 82 gone, 82. And I reckon he might give us.
You may as well back a goal scorer on Barcola. You might want to cover who else? Dembele. Inter don't look like scoring today, so yeah. If you are taking the over goal line, you might as well take a goal scorer. Really, in my book, pick one of your 3.
Yeah, because the thinking there is there might only be one more play a likely goal scorer or play a couple of them rather than play the. I mean, it's plus 148 now. But yeah, I wonder what sort of prices they are.
Is this the first time we're seeing PSG take a little bit of a breather?
Dembele 8-1. Barcola is 12s. That's just any time rather than...
That chance was 0. There we go.
Oh, he's in again. Flag stays down again. Go on, son.
It's far too easy. How easy was that?
Like, just cutting for him.
I mean, we never got the shots, did we, for him?
He's desperate to score, isn't he? He really is.
Australia off.
3 subs here. They're going to bring the young lad
Ramos. On. He could be good for a late one.
Ramos. Ramos. I wonder what price he's going to be to score any time here. He'll be at least 10-1.
0.61, by the way. That XG of that Barcola chance.
Barcola's 15-1 to score now. For those, you're only going to get about 6 minutes at it, though. That's the problem. So,
how he's not scored the other one? Ramos.
I mean, I still think he gets another chance.
If you're in profit, have a little dabble.
Yeah, if you've had a good night, I would suggest that might be the way to play it. They like this young kid, don't they, Steve? I saw him play in the youth league, sending me, he's only 19, or there's a couple of them that are coming through.
Do you know what? They really have looked to try and develop some of the younger players, either their own or the signings they've made.
Don't know the card, no. Yeah, I was just looking at Club World Cup. Not the most straightforward group.
Atletico Madrid.
Botafogo and Seattle Sounders.
Well, yeah.
I
But
mean,
I
Seattle-
quite like what I like about that. I mean, Atletico Madrid, I never underestimate them in a one-off game. I think they're a good one-team game. They wouldn't have to play them till the final. I think Atletico could upset someone in like the last 16 quarterfinal. PSG wouldn't. I mean, I don't know what the group game will. You'd think PSG would win the group still, wouldn't you? But
yeah.
I mean, they're going to have a massive party now, though. What sort of state they're going to be in? But they'll soon.
First game is against Atleti on the 15th of June. That's 2 weeks tomorrow. So, you know.
Producer Troy's got some good stats there. The last margin of victory, 4 or more, 93-94.
Yeah, Milan.
And this doesn't happen. This does not grow on trees, this sort of result in a Champions League final. This is a unique score.
Yeah, I mean, I think now possibly we're looking at that's it for goals, aren't we? Are they really going to, the last 5 minutes they're just going to manage this, aren't they? This is, the pattern of play we're seeing here is maybe something, PSG in their own half, no real hurry up. It's only those that have come on are going to be willing to do something here.
Oh!
You're ahead of me,
You just said we're done for goals and there's a goal. Apparently.
I'm way behind.
But it's the young lad, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the young lad.
They've gone wild. They've gone wild. There is a VAR, but we're not able to them.
You must be about 30 seconds ahead of me. I tell you what, but I mean, Barkler. How have we not cashed that Barkler bet?
This is absolute, in the words of Simon Olden,
super
Sergeant Slaughtering, isn't it? This
Careful.
is just,
all right. Super. I wonder which words of Simon Olden you're going to use then.
This is just shocking. But we thought I could see this coming from the half. There was a massive danger of a massive win here. They're not letting up. They could get 6th.
Over 4.5.
What we do, the whistle will now go at 90, I tell you. 91 tops.
Mercy whistle, old school mercy whistle.
The mercy whistle will come in.
I tell you what, Sommer's dived to his left every single time, and I put it the other side of him. That's the third goal he's got.
They've done the homework on Sommer, big time. They've properly done the homework on him.
Crazy says I think I'm about 2 minutes behind here.
Oh dear, Inter. I mean, I feel from it. There's 2 Champions League finals they've lost now in 5 years?
Yeah.
3 years in. When was the City final? Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah. Do you know what? This isn't a false scoreline either, is it? Sometimes you go, they were a bit harsh there. That 5-0. That's about right for this.
It's fair. It's totally fair. PSG have been exceptional. I'll give them credit.
Yeah.
But 5-0. Inter haven't got it right today.
That poor guy who's on the 66-1 shot.
Oh no! Hopefully he did get on the over goals. I mean, it's a way of covering your ass, isn't it?
Yeah. Bastion Spear, PSG not been offside in the whole game.
Incredible position.
You're running out of time.
They've been exceptional in every single department. Defended really well. Pressure, in the dugout, in the technical area there, outstanding. Better goalkeeper, clinical finishing. Intensity. They've played, like we said about them playing, they're slightly younger, and it showed out there tonight as well. I mean, Inter look tired.
I mean, here we go. You say Inter look tired and PSG, right? This season,
they're still pressing them.
This season, Inter, 16 players over 2,000 minutes, 7 players over 3,000 minutes. PSG, 14 players over 2,000 minutes, 10 players over 3,000 minutes. So, I mean, Paris Saint-Germain players, we've talked about it all season on the European show. They don't rotate as much as you think. All the key players play in all the big games.
They do. And maybe
Inter have rotated more, and it's not worked for them at all.
I think the 34-game seasons work for the French league, big time. But
PSG played 2 more Champions League games than Inter.
Yeah, I mean,
but when you could run a 10K when you were 24 and feel a lot better than when you were 34. Trust me.
Yeah.
I think Tristan Wiggle said about the average age of the team. I think it's quite
5
a
years
difference, isn't it? Yeah.
One's 25, one's 30. It's the youngest average age since Ajax in 94-95. Both teams to score not coming. Some people need. Well, Baston said both teams score no. We were on that train quite early.
Great shout. Flagged it.
Really
Yellow
good
card.
shout.
For PSG.
Plus 185 he
really
shouted out, didn't he?
Plus 185.
I think so.
One of the shouts of the night.
And there it is. The mercy whistle's come. Apparently, going to Bet River's site, it's over.
Yeah,
90 minutes, not a minute added.
Yeah,
There was a late card. There was a late card.
2 for PSG, 3 for Inter.
So the cards went with 5, didn't they?
Wow.
But,
6 seconds extra.
Yeah, mercy whistle. It used to happen in the Bundesliga all the time, and then they changed the
corners
rules.
won 6-4 for Inter.
Yeah.
We've had a good second half there, really. I've got to say,
so.
Barcola. How's that missed? That would have been.
That would
really
have been
good
the cherry.
play.
That would have been the cherry, wouldn't it?
But hats off to you, Jack. You've absolutely crushed this game right from pre-game.
Well, you set the tone, Dan. You set the tone with the first half. Asian that crashed. That gashed. The opposite of crashed.
I mean, to be honest, over 2.5 in the first half. That should have kept.
Yeah.
That's the most. I have never seen such a one-sided final I can remember in the Champions League for a long, long time, if ever.
Well done, Baston.
No one can argue with that result, can they?
Yeah, I mean, when we look back, I mean, they're at about plus 110 on the money line. Paris Saint-Germain. We were all sort of shading Paris Saint-Germain at the start of the game.
Yeah.
We thought there was a few sort of unders voices, but generally we were on overs. And then as the game wore on, I mean, what I've learned tonight is, I love the Asian bet from Steve. You know, it's you want to try and work out bets in play where you don't feel you're chasing it. So you don't necessarily, there's been 2 goals early. Do you go over 3.5, over 4.5? You reset, which is the Asian line that you suggested, Steve. It's minus 117 here, and you say it's 0-0 from here on in, or 1-1, whatever it is, and you play from there on in. How do you see it going on? And those are the sort of bets that I think are really shrewd, because you're just having a reset, and you're thinking, what do I think is going to happen from now? You're ignoring the noise of early goals. It's just which team is the best.
They didn't change anything, PSG, from their season MO. They didn't change anything right until that 5-0. And I think that was identifiable. My only question mark was after half time, would they go into their shell a little bit? They didn't. And that's the difference here, the coaching. And that's fair play to them. They've kept going. And I think in the second half there, we managed to profit a bit from it as well. And I just want to say thanks to everyone who's joined the live betcast we've had. All 3 of them. Hope you've enjoyed them. And next season, there has been, who knows, maybe we might even have a Champions League night again, where there's quite a lot of matches going on, or something along those lines. But thank you everyone who joined us live.
Yeah, some great winners in there, and some great winners in the chat. I think that both teams to score no shout was a banger at the start of the second half, and a few others in there as well. But good. We hoped it would be a good watch. It was. Probably didn't expect it to be as one-sided as it was. But, PSG absolutely were a joy to watch, to be fair.
Really good calls from a lot of it. I mean, Fingerwag makes a point. No major injuries to their key players all season. Is that a thing? We looked at what happened to what happened to Arsenal in the Champions League, and the fact they didn't have a striker. Would it have been different for them? I don't know. There wasn't any sort of significant absentees, I don't think, Steve. Certainly from a Paris Saint-Germain point, their key men were in all.
Well, I think that's part of the conditioning of the squad. I think Enrique has done an unbelievable job here in everything. This is. I'm interested to see what's going to happen to PSG now. They've climbed their mountain now, right?
How old is he?
Who?
Get his shirt on.
Luis Enrique. He's 50. He's 55.
Now.
Get him in the book. Look, they've climbed this mountain now. They've always wanted to win this Champions League. Now they're going to go for the Club World Cup. What happens after that? Because, hopefully, I'm speaking with my Marseille hat on here now. Hopefully they crash and burn, and they've had enough. But I'm intrigued now.
It's the quadruple this season, isn't it? Are they going to take a dip next season, Steve? Like quadruple?
Well, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping there's they lose the intensity. They're certainly going to go for the Club World Cup.
They're minus 118 to win Group B against Atleti, Botafogo, and Seattle Sounders. I think the futures prices for the outrights to win it have been taken down, while the Bet Rivers traders.
Well, the thing with Atletico.
Here's just one other thing. Group E, Inter are the favourites at -250. What sort of state are they going to be in? Ostensibly, it's an easy draw. River Plate, Aurora Red Diamonds, and Monterrey.
Monterrey aren't that bad, I don't think.
I mean, the J League this season's got an odd look to it because Marinos are bottom of the table at the moment. But they're such a short price; they are a very cheap lay in that group.
This is a serious hangover for them. Like, this is gonna more than hurt. They've been embarrassed. They really have. They've not even laid a glove on PSG in this game. One decent chance that Donnarumma saved. I can't think of another Inter chance in the game. That header maybe first half, but dear, oh dear, the stats must. I've not looked at the full match stats. They must be so lopsided.
Absolutely are.
Have we got the match stats?
Totally.
Stats?
Everything.
What have you got?
59% possession to 41%. 3.23 expected goals to 0.49. 23 shots to 8 shots on target to 2. 8 big chances they had. 8 big chances.
8 big chances.
Yeah. 4 big chances missed.
3.23 XG for PSG.
That's huge.
Dude,
that might be some sort of record in a final.
Talk about silly things, but you mentioned it a couple of times in the first half, Steve. It didn't really change. Fouls committed by Inter Milan was 7. Surely someone out there, like Channel Hoglu or someone like that, has got to go, come on. We need to go and put something in here to do something. 7 fouls. It's an easy one, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? But it was domination.
You're right, Dan.
20 shots inside the box, by the way.
From a betting perspective, we're already looking ahead to the next betting event. That's what we do as bettors. We're thinking, how can we get, what's the PSG angle? How do we fade Inter coming up soon? We're already on about the Club World Cup. It's a non-stop. Someone was asking, what do we do with our summer off? It's non-stop, isn't it, really? There's an international window coming up soon, which is always you can get some great value in this June window. But what a season, what a match. I'm still a little bit, I'm not in shock now because I saw it coming halfway through. But what 5-0? What was that score, I wonder?
Well, I think it was Nigel or Troy put in saying over 4.5 goals was plus 600 at the start.
Graham, I totally agree. Most complete performance I've seen in the final as well. Absolutely.
They're exceptional. Like you say, sometimes you look at these stats, and that one, I don't know if you caught it at the end there, but to have 20 shots inside the box, that shows you how they carved Inter Milan open. And like I say, they only had 23 shots, but they were all good chances. Say 8 big chances created. It's crazy in a Champions League final.
Wow.
We're going to wrap things up. I think many thanks to everyone who's joined the stream. As Steve was pointing out, Terence says, good times. Take it easy. Got to check my tickets now. Adam says, Enrique, some boy, remarkable rebuild. Chris Gray, most complete performance I've seen. And Adam says, has a Inter side ever been beaten so heavy in history? I'd be surprised. John says, some are beaten so often. His near post was scout. Yeah, I mean, he did get bit. I mean, as Jack pointed out, he kept jumping the wrong way. He was doing
They nailed Sommer, didn't they?
In a penalty shootout, wasn't it? Yeah. Look, hopefully people have cashed at 1 or 2 tickets. Lewis Jones, I don't know when he's back on the live show, but Lewis will be very pleased because he banged on about Paris Saint-Germain.
And he got the insider pick as well. Yeah, plus 148, Kvaratskhelia.
I think we cashed a few. How many insider picks did we get right?
The ones that actually were on the insider have done quite well.
Husey says that he put Nigel's on it.
I think mine and Nigel's, because they weren't on it, might just be scrapped into the hopefully now. But it's been a good. Let me just have a look because I do want to give a shout out to these winners. First of all, both of you. Jack over 2.5 goals. That was a good winner. Your first half Asian one was a winner. The Kvaratskhelia. Just trying to find these picks now. No. Here we go. Got it. Yeah, Kvaratskhelia to score assist plus 148. Simon Holden was a tie plus 235.
Shrewd.
Nuno Mendes got done with the scoreline for James and got subbed out early. Yeah. And there was producer John Inter to win the trophy plus 130. So, but no one ever could have seen Inter being that bad ever. Surely.
Congratulations to everyone who won some swag as well. Troy is on it, and whatever you've won, whatever apparel you've won, it won't be a yellow jacket like Stephen Jack has got, but it will be something. I don't know what we get. Maybe it is a yellow jacket. I don't know. But Troy is on that. Well done for taking part in those ones because they're not easy. Tristan says, "Can we have Betcast for all the finals?" Well, we had one for the Europa League show, didn't we? But we didn't have one for the conference one.
The conference one would have been interesting. What about? We've got. I suppose there's let's see in the future. These have been good, and thanks for supporting it, guys, because that really helps us going forward in the future. If we do want to do this again, clearly there's an appetite for it, and I want to say just over the whole season as well, forgetting the Betcast, the live shows, the Premier League show, the Betting Weekly Extra Time. Content doesn't stop in the summer, of course. We've got Betting Weekly Live, Betting Weekly Tennis Live, and Hardball and Fast Break. The Fast Break guys have been on unbelievable form recently with Doug Kazarian on the Fast Break. So that is a show well worth watching. Great
stuff. Minin says, do we know who got player of the match? Lewis Silva says Doué. Do we know if that's confirmed? I've not seen it.
I will go. Lewis Silva says that. I believe him.
Oh, there you go, Lewis.
There you go.
And I think he's the most likely, isn't he, Doué?
Yeah. Jack, Steve, thanks for your company on this Saturday.
Thank you.
No doubt we will cross paths next week with the live show. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Hopefully you cast a few tickets on that extraordinary Champions League final. Paris Saint-Germain Champions League winners for the first time in their history with a 5-0 demolition job of Inter. We will see you Monday for Betting Weekly Live. Have a good remainder of your weekend.